Yeah, this Aether Gust obviously going to do a good job of keeping Igor Kerim, you know, a little more alive, but there's a spell pierce, all right, sure. Pay for it, I guess.
Easy deal.
Okay, I still have enough mana to pay for this spell pierce. What are you doing, man? I mean, yeah, sure, you get the prowess triggers, but like, what's the plan here? Oh,
there it is.
A mystical dispute as well.
Functional, yeah, functional spell pierce enough to get in for Grixis.
Settle the wreckage.
I'm glad you asked.
Oh my god! A 100-card historic brawl. Settle the wreckage in hand after I called it.
Riley, here we go. Nothing ventured, nothing gained here. Seasoned Pyromancer can let you ditch your hand in this case to draw 2 cards, and we need exactly 2. We need Bone Crusher Giant and an untapped red source.
Need the Bone Crusher Giant with Stomp, which stops the 9 lives from preventing damage, and we need the red source to cast the Stomp, Dennis. And wouldn't you know
there it is!
Look at that! I've always maintained, Dennis, I've always maintained that Magic is a very skill-testing game indeed, and Charizard James is showing us just how skill-based this game is, ripping the actual perfect 2 off the top here, and is going to win the game on the spot because of it.
Yo, what's up, Titan Smash? Oh no!
If this was the only way Tybalt's Trickery had ever been used, Riley, I think it would have been balanced the way Wizards intended it.
I think this is actually Magic as R&D intended. Tybalt's Trickery. Getting rid of an eye twitch? Why are you scared of an eye twitch? Now you have to deal with the lolth. What was that?
I'm terrified of an eye twitch, dude. Like, if only it had been something like a lolth, you know?
Raise the alarm. We found their win con. We didn't know what it was, and now we know. I've now found their win con. I don't like it. You fool didn't play around Triple Tithe. Listen. My opponent had Sky Tether main deck and then boarded out of all the bad cards and boarded in good cards like Memory Lapse and Teferi. How am I supposed to win if I know that? Their tempo play of 2 soldiers are going to win them the game. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I can't look. I can't look. Ow. Man, Valkmir is a problem.
Nope.
Oh no. Wait, what just happened? Why was this 5 mana? Oh no. It came in tapped.
Oh no! It came in tapped.
Oh my god! Did we do it?
Yes! I attack!
Holy shit!
I attack! I attack! I attack!
Everyone's clenching right now.
No! Oh, he lost! He lost!
I attacked! No! No! What?
Oh, he lost! Oh no! Oh man!
What? Okay, I want them to kill this first. So I play this first. And I want these 2 to cast my other spells. No! Stop, opponent! Stop it! Please stop. Please stop. Please don't do it to me. Don't cast another land destruction spell. Please, oh my. Let's go! Not distortion! Yeah! Feel the power of the 6 mana black sorcery. Not distortion, come forth! I summon the winged dragon of Ra! exaggerating. Oh, Royal Eruption again! Oh my god! Kicker! Base! Oh, double Chandra emblem! Oh, is this... Yes! Oh! Oh! I guess I should just use this anyway. Wait, is this game? Oh, face damage! Oh! No freaking way! Alright, give me Scorpion. Off the top, right now. It's just too good to be true! It's just too good to be true! It's just too good to be true! What the heck, dude? Cheating! They have Fatal Push. I don't care. If they have Fatal Push, they're gonna use it now. Oh no, it goes back in the deck! No! Oh, if they have Fading Hope, I swear. I'm gonna pay 3 life and then they're gonna Fading Hope it back to their hand. I'm gonna cry. Okay, I didn't say that. Oh no, I should have played Dahlia first. No, I should have played Dahlia first. No, don't do it. No! No! The second one got Approach. Wait, that still counts as casting, doesn't it? Wait, what? That's the worst possible. That doesn't work the right way.
Riley, does your opponent ever make a play that doesn't seem to make sense on the surface, but then over time starts to kind of come together a little more?
Yeah, this Aether Gust obviously going to do a good job of keeping Igor Kerim, you know, a little more alive, but there's a spell pierce, alright, sure. Pay for it, I guess.
Easy deal.
Okay, I still have enough mana to pay for this spell pierce. What are you doing, man? I mean, yeah, sure, you get the prowess triggers, but like, what's the plan here? Oh.
There it is.
A mystical dispute as well.
Functional. Yeah, functional spell pierce enough to get in for Xaxes.
Settle the wreckage.
I'm glad you asked.
Oh my god! A 100-card historic brawl. Settle the wreckage in hand after I called it.
Riley, here we go. Nothing ventured, nothing gained here. Seasoned Pyromancer can let you ditch your hand in this case to draw 2 cards. And we need exactly 2. We need Bone Crusher Giant and an untapped red source.
Need the Bone Crusher Giant with Stomp, which stops the 9 lives from preventing damage, and we need the red source to cast the Stomp, Dennis. And wouldn't you know
there it is!
At that, I've always maintained, Dennis, I've always maintained that Magic is a very skill-testing game indeed, and Charizard James is showing us just how skill-based this game is, ripping the actual perfect 2 off the top here, and is going to win the game on the spot because of it.
Yo, what's up, Titan Smash? Oh no!
If this was the only way Tybalt's trickery had ever been used, Riley, I think it would have been balanced the way Wizards intended it.
I think this is actually Magic as R&D intended. Tybalt's trickery. Getting rid of an eye twitch? Why are you scared of an eye twitch? Now you have to deal with the lolth. What was that?
I'm terrified of an eye twitch, dude. Like, if only it had been something like a lolth, you know?
Raise the alarm. We found their win con. We didn't know what it was, and now we know. I've now found their win con. I don't like it. You fool didn't play around triple tithe. Listen. My opponent had Sky Tether main deck and then boarded out of all the bad cards and boarded in good cards like Memory Lapse and Teferi. How am I supposed to win if I know that? Their tempo play of 2 soldiers are going to win them the game. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I can't look. I can't look. Ow. Man, Valkmir is a problem.
Nope.
Oh no! Wait, what just happened? Why was this 5 mana? Oh no! It came in tap.
Oh no! It came in tap.
Oh my god, did we do it?
Yes! I attack!
Holy shit!
I attack! I attack! I attack!
Everyone's clenching right now.
No! Oh, he lost! He lost!
I attacked! No! No! What?
Oh, he lost! Oh no! Oh man!
What? Okay, I want them to kill this first. So I play this first. And I want these 2 to cast my other spells. No! Stop, opponent! Stop it! Please stop. Please stop. Please don't do it to me. Don't cast another land destruction spell. Please, oh my... Let's go! Not distortion! Yeah! Feel the power of the 6 mana black sorcery. Thought distortion, come forth. I summon the winged dragon of Ra. Oh! Oh! PogChamp! Oh! 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 What the heck, dude? I was exaggerating. Oh, Royal Eruption again! Oh my god! Kicker! Base! Oh, double Chandra emblem! Oh, is this... Yes! Oh! Oh! I guess I should just use this anyway. Wait, is this game? Oh, face damage! Oh, no freaking way! All right, give me Scorpion off the top right now. It's just too good to be true. It's just too good to be true. It's just too good to be true. What the heck, dude? Cheating. They have Fatal Push. I don't care. If they have Fatal Push, they're going to use it now. Oh, no, it goes back in the deck. No. Oh, if they have Fading Hope, I swear. I'm gonna pay 3 life and then they're gonna Fading Hope it back to their hand. I'm gonna cry. Okay, I didn't say that. Oh no, I should have played Thalia first. No, I should have played Valheim first. No, don't do it. No. No. The second one got approach. Wait, that still counts as casting, doesn't it? Wait, what? That's the worst possible. That doesn't work the right way.
Riley, does your opponent ever make a play that doesn't seem to make sense on the surface, but then over time starts to kind of come together a little more?
Yeah, this Aethergast's obviously going to do a good job of keeping Igor Kerim, a little more alive, but there's a spell pierce, alright, sure. Pay for it, I guess.
Easy deal.
Okay, I still have enough mana to pay for the spell pierce. What are you doing, man? I mean, yeah, sure, you get the prowess triggers, but like, what's the plan here? Oh.
There it is.
A mystical dispute as well.
Functional. Yeah, functional spell pierce enough to get in for Xaxes.
Settle the wreckage.
I'm glad you asked.
Oh my god! A 100-card historic brawl. Settle the wreckage in hand after I called it.
Riley, here we go. Nothing ventured, nothing gained here. Seasoned Pyromancer can let you ditch your hand in this case to draw 2 cards. And we need exactly 2. We need Bone Crusher Giant and an untapped red source.
Need the Bone Crusher Giant with Stomp, which stops the 9 lives from preventing damage, and we need the red source to cast the Stomp, Dennis. And wouldn't you know
there it is!
Look at that! I've always maintained, Dennis, I've always maintained that Magic is a very skill-testing game indeed, and Charizard James is showing us just how skill-based this game is, ripping the actual perfect 2 off the top here, and is going to win the game on the spot because of it.
Yo, what's up, Titan Smash? Oh no!
If this was the only way Tybalt's Trickery had ever been used, Riley, I think it would have been balanced the way Wizards intended it.
I think this is actually Magic as R&D intended. Tybalt's Trickery. Getting rid of an eye twitch? Why are you scared of an eye twitch? Now you have to deal with the lolth. What was that?
I'm terrified of an eye twitch, dude. Like, if only it had been something like a lolth, you know?
Raise the alarm. We found their win con. We didn't know what it was, and now we know. I've now found their win con. I don't like it. You fool didn't play around Triple Tithe. Listen, my opponent had Sky Tether main deck and then boarded out of all the bad cards and boarded in good cards like Memory Lapse and Teferi. How am I supposed to win if I know that? Their tempo play of 2 soldiers are going to win them the game. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I can't look. I can't look. Ow. Man, Valkmir is a problem.
Nope.
Oh no! Wait, what just happened? Why was this 5 mana? Oh no! It came in tap!
Oh no! It came in tap.
Oh my god! Did we do it?
Yes! I attack!
Holy shit!
I attack! I attack! I attack!
Everyone's clenching right now.
No! Oh, he lost! He lost!
I attacked! No! No! What?
Oh, he lost! Oh no! Oh man!
What? Okay, I want them to kill this first. So I play this first. And I want these two to cast my other spells. No! Stop, opponent! Stop it! Please stop. Please stop. Please don't do it to me. Don't cast another land destruction spell. Please, oh my... Let's go! Not distortion! Yeah! Feel the power of the 6-mana black sorcery. Thought distortion, come forth. I summon the winged dragon of Ra! Oh! Remember to spam the spacebar today? Spamming spacebar commence! Alright. Let's go over to Jeff Hoogland's thing. While I look at the tournament announcements. But how's everybody doing today? What is up for rants? Thank you for making that note. Okay, I'm going to do the sponsor shout out right now so we can get that out of the way. And then, but what's up, Zek D20? What's up? Thanks for coming back. Appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Let's go ahead and do the little sponsor shout out here. We're going to get it out of the way, and then we're going to go and do the Hoogland Open today with Grixis, Midrange, and Alchemy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time. Right now, I'm like 100 and something mythic, too, which is pretty cool. I was playing a little bit last night, and I just kept winning, and I was like, oh, this deck might be good. But first of all, I want to give a quick sponsor shout-out to Ultra Pro, the standard and safe storage. I have some Ultra Pro things right here as well. You can click the link under my Twitch About section to support DGen Gaming, and click. If you click that link, it does directly support us. Also, you can save 5% on your Alto sleeves by using code DGen at checkout. You can also save 5% on anything in the store at CoolStuffInc.com with cool stuff in stock using code James5 at checkout or DGen5 at checkout to help the DGen Gaming team. Also, you can battle against your friends for money at TCG Showdown, and also you can get decks, packs, cosmetics, and more, even pre-release decks at Grey Vikings Games. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, what was I playing last night? Grixis Midrange. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's play some unranked games just to warm our muscles a little bit, to like kind of, stretch out our playing muscles and stuff. What are these? Why are they giving us the Strixhaven cards right now? That seems like poorly timed. Let's just play some best of one alchemy, like, non-ranked stuff. Thank you, D20. Appreciate it. Wait, D20 is a brand new Charmeleon. Did I say that already? Is this an adaptation of Jim Davis' set Championship Alchemy deck? Yes, it is Disposable Hero. This hand is like pretty bonkers, right? Like, just some of the curves in this deck are just so good. The only problem with this hand is that I'm not in the play. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. How many signed up currently? I don't know. Is there any way I can check that? I guess tournament view, you can check that. I don't even know if I can check that. I might actually die here because, like, I don't know if I can outscale this Righteous Valkyrie. Okay, that doesn't kill the Valkyrie. There are 99 players signed up. Thank you, Nuno. You are awesome. Can we give a quick shout out to Nuno? Nuno is insane. By insane, I mean amazing. We only have to do that 3 more times this month, though. I can get Clerical Ice Spawn off the board, yeah, but if they don't have any life gain right now, whenever you gain life, each opponent loses a life. I'm gonna do this just so they don't gain a life. They'll gain a life from this, but I don't want them to get an additional life. I really hope I don't play against Angels today, because I'm playing Power Word Kill in my deck. Alright, what do I want to do here? Just attack? What if I'm the life gain deck? What if I'm the life gain deck opponent? As always, during the tournament, we will be doing an emote only. The tournament should be live right now, actually. At least, very close to it. I'm gonna turn on Jeff Hoogland's stream real quick. Discard 2 cards. Oh, we got the plumber, chat. Probably don't have time for Kaido. That's a card. I mean, we probably just play Soren and minus it. I kind of want to play the Blood Tithe, though. I'm going to play the Blood Tithe Harvester. Because, like, that's how I'm going to kill the Righteous Valkyrie. Rite of Oblivion? Oh, that's so perfect. What am I sacking? Like, I could play Blood Tithe Harvester, but then I could just die to Valkyries. I think I have to make the treasure here, so I can do both plays. Unfortunately, I'm giving them Rite of Oblivion and Lunarch Veteran to cast here. Oh my gosh, I get the Rite of Oblivion. Oh, that's broken. I can use this on this. Oh my gosh, do I just win the game right now? If I draw a land, I think I just win the game. I meant untap land. The next turn I get to do Reflection and Kiki-Jiki things. Hopefully they don't have Vanishing Verse or something crazy. Oh, Blood Chiefs. Holy freaking crap. Wow! Cryptic, thanks for the follow. I'm not in a round right now. I'm in the tournament. They just haven't started yet.
New pairing received.
I'm playing against Rakdos Midrange. Like Matic Chandlers. They're a Frenzied Geist Blaster Bloodthirsty adversary deck. Oh my gosh, they're playing the same deck we lost to on the ladder. Oh, crap. They're playing the Molten Impact Painful Bond deck with Reckless Impulse and Plumbers. Oh no, this might be the same person. Oh, crap. Electrostatic Blast, Molten Impact, Painful Bond, Reckless Impulse, Undercity Plunder. Ah, come on. It's saying this may be a feature match. Contact the organizer. pretty sure I'm a feature. I've never been a round 1 feature before. You were playing the Geist Blaster Rakdos deck the other day. Have you tried Blood Sky Berserker in it? I have not. I tried it for a little bit and didn't really innovate on it too much. This open standard or alchemy? It's alchemy. Oh, Edward, the person I'm playing against was on Jim Davis's tournament team. They built this deck for the Pro Tour. Yikes. How did I get that unlucky? Alright, round 1 features. Mid Guy versus Entities, Silas versus Hackmage, Braveheart versus K-Prinz, and then my feature match. I don't features, do I have a feature and go live, then wait till you're told to begin your match? Okay. They said my name is still Charizard James, but I don't think I am. My opponent has updated their list last minute, but the list on his tournament controller against me has his old list. Discord name and Melee profile. Wherever that is. Sorry, chat. I'm figuring something out real quick. Let's see. I'll get to your things right now, chat, in just one moment. Figuring things out about this about the feature match here. Blood Sky's pretty gas. Oh yeah, Blood Sky's the one that grows, right? It grows when you cast your second spell turn and gets +2, +2, +2, and has menace, right? This time is open deck list. Exactly, Nuno. Yeah, exactly. No surprises here. Hopefully. Alchemy tournament match, Alchemy cards, best of 3, coin flip, timer's on. Alright. Emote only mode, let's go. Let's hear some profit emotes, chat. Profit emotes. I'm on the play. Let's go. All right, they do have Duress and Go Blank in their deck. The good thing about this is if I plumber them, I can get a removal spell. Graveyard Trespasser is pretty good. Do I need to save my Voltage Surge for something? Probably not. Magmatic, Bloodthirsty, Frenzied, Sedgemoor. The problem with Magmatic is that it has 3 toughness. Frenzied Guide Blaster has 2 toughness. Sedgemoor, which has 2 toughness. Do they discard another card or give me a card? The problem that I've faced with against that deck is that I couldn't kill them if they killed my creatures, so that's what I'm going to be trying to do. That's red, and they didn't have a stop. They could have Molten Impact. Graveyard Trespass is going to be good against their deck because they have Bloodthirsty Adversary in it. Doing this first, just in case they discard a creature. They did. Bummer. They're gonna plan to go blank me. All right, that was my plan. Keep drawing lands. I do this, they trade here. Do I want to trade? I think I'm okay with the trade. Oh my gosh, I keep drawing lands. Unacceptable. Crap. Removal spell.
For the sake of all innocent, my will must you will serve me well.
Oh, that's my Sorin.
Things have not gone my way.
So they die if they don't do anything. If they don't kill my blood tithe and make a blocker. Another Sorin.
Out of my way.
Looks like desperation to me.
You deal with this annoyance.
I have a pretty short window. Another land? Another land?
Excuse my sudden rudeness. Oh, wow. Can't cast this. Alright, I can get a red land off this.
draw. Wow. Champ. Ten, 8, 12. Can't race. Yes. Yes. Wow. Crazy top deck. Crazy top deck. Oh, God. Oh, God. Crazy top deck. Oh, my God. Absolutely insane top deck. I don't know if I can race. Crap. Oh, God. Oh, God. That top deck was so insane. Oh, God. God, that Soren token. What can I draw here? Three blockers. Land. Reckless Impulse. I guess that can't kill me. I have no clue what I can draw, though. Like, this token has been insane. Wow, that top deck Reckless Impulse was so insane. Thought I had that too. It was the back-to-back Sorens too. And then one of them was mine. The conductive current in their sideboard. Go Blink, Trespasser, Grasp, Duress, March, Sedgemore, Soren. And I was on to play that game too. That game was crazy. Take my plumber. Oh my gosh, they're getting max value. God, they're getting max value. Good draw. Thing is, this deals 2 damage every time they cast something. So I can't cast this yet. No! Ah, crap! Ah! Ah! So much value. He did discard anything? Oh, because I want to deal damage to this. Makes sense. We're gonna cast a draw spell and then deal 2 damage to this with this. God! So much value. No, I didn't. Oh, they don't get the card. Oh. Oop. This card, though? Didn't even think of that. Not like this. Not lands like this. Sorcery, 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 instant. I thought I'd be able to kill this Chandler, but I should have attacked with the Blood Tithe. That's a good card. One of them, the Bloodthirsty something. I can't keep them off their instants and sorceries. Their whole deck is filled with them. Oh, come on! Oh, God! They drew it again! Oh, my God! Come on! Ah! Are you serious? That's a good tech, though. God. That's insane. Oh, my God. Why am I getting freaking Orvard? I didn't even know this card existed. I need to draw Blood Chiefs. Not bad. Can Molten impact me regardless? And I feel like I just got card of the tournamented. Plus, he's drawn his one Sorin.
I bring my
No, it's two Sorin. Good card. I don't know if it'll be enough.
things have not gone my way.
Ah! I gotta give it to him, though. I gotta give it to him. Like, Orvar was busted. I can draw my... Like, I have one copy of Sweeper in my deck. I have one meat hook that I could have drawn there. Got destroyed. A lot of people are playing Bloodthirsty Adversary.
Card here is pretty tough. You know, right now they need to make land drops. They need to have a card in hand to discard to Windfall. So it's going to negate at the bin, and we see a draw, and it's going to be a Molten Impact. Which is amusingly, a very good answer to Smoldering Egg.
Yeah. I mean, why do you need to leave your own removal spells in, Jim, when you could just be drawing your opponents?
Oh, that sucks.
See, a little bit of a decision point here for our Hackmage player, kind of trying to decide, do they want to run this Molten Impact answer they just drew into open mana, or do they want to play a tap land and pass and then have that painful bond available at instant speed at the end of Dane Blast's turn? Because remember, there's value in denying your opponent the ability to use their mana for the turn.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see these hives not come down on either of these last two turns.
Yeah, probably a little bit of a misclick on the second turn, definitely not playing the hive out. Remember, those creature lands only come in tapped on the first two turns of the game.
Yeah, and then even here, not going to be using this one black mana, so hive on the last two turns would have felt a little more efficient. That might, stumble up Hackmage's ability to cast.
Gosh, Orvar was so busted there.
I think on this turn,
I think Orvar just won them the game there.
It's a very conscious decision to try and play around the copy of Jawari Disruption that could be there. Really heads up play from Dane Blast here. Instead of bouncing the Molten Impact, letting Hackmage replay it the following turn, they've instead bounced their Smoldering Egg, so that way they can just redeploy it, and the removal spell is now gone for Hackmage.
Yeah, so it's important to note that that copy of Molten Despair is conjured. So it's not like if it's Divide by Zero, it goes back into Dane Blast's hand. That's just a new piece of cardboard that has been conjured from the Aether and is now part of Hackmage's deck.
Yeah, and more importantly, it's a piece of digital cardboard that's in Hackmage's graveyard now that can be flashed back with these Bloodthirsty Adversaries.
Yep. So kind of everything tokens in Magic ever wanted to be. In Magic, in paper, a token kind of has to cease to exist because you can't shuffle it into your deck. You can't put it into your graveyard. But digitally, we can do that. We can just make cards, and that's really, really cool.
Sequencing decisions
What they
here,
copied with
trying to
Orvar,
figure
Fable,
out
the
if they
Mirror
want
Breaker.
to Painful Bond
And they
before
copied
playing
a
a land
Fable, and they
triggers,
also
could draw
copied a
another
Magmatic
2-mana
Chandler.
spell they want to cast here.
The Magmatic Chandler was able to block my
Probably don't wanna
3/3,
cast that
the
one,
trade
or
with
the
my
Hive
3/3 Death
finally
Touch
gonna
so
come
to
down?
keep their other 4/4.
Second red mana
And then
makes sense here
their
with the
Plumber,
Forsaken
their Undercity,
Crossroads. Interested to see if we're putting this into play. I
got
imagine
my
if we're playing
Sorin
Crossroads
game
here,
one.
it's untapped
My
for
one
black.
Sorin they got for their deck, and the Sorin token won them the game in game
Yeah,
one.
now there is
Yeah,
two
they
red
top
though.
decked
So
out of it.
now
They had
again,
no
Invoke
cards
Despair not
and just-
castable on turn
and
5.
they had, like, absolutely
with the
no
Quad
cards.
Black.
But they had
This is part of the pain
they had
of both Crossroads
a
and
trigger off a
Pathways,
different
where
card
it makes
in their graveyard, and that's
you know
it. And they top decked a
your
card that drew
double
2 cards
colored,
and then
triple
drew
colored,
3
I guess
other
quadruple
cards
colored cards
off
a
the
little
card
harder
in
to
the
cast
graveyard.
because they're
So they got
not
to look at
true
5 new
dual
cards
lands.
off
You
the
have
top
to
of
choose
the deck.
A
but
or
it had
B.
nothing in
I
game
think it's
one.
great.
What
Like,
a draw off
nothing
the
at all.
top for our blue-red player.
So
Although
I feel
guess
like
we
I
could
kinda,
just
like,
see
stole the
Disruption
game
come
one,
down
but game
as
2
a
was
land
dominated by
for the
Orvar.
turn, but if they hold on to that, could really muck up.
Like, yeah, they have to draw that card, and yeah, they have to draw it,
bloodthirsty
and they have to have the
adversary
discard
expected
spell.
to kick something.
But it happened
Yeah, gotta
twice.
play it as a land, unfortunately. I agree.
Orvar
That's
got,
always good. Your opponent sees your entire hand, and they don't play around the one card you keep
Connoisseur.
per turn. It's the perfect one.
Orvar's the
Need
perfect
a
card
land
against
drop here.
Connoisseur
Just gotta
because
make
it'll
those land
almost
drops,
always
gotta
hit
keep
that
things
card.
going.
Because it's 5 mana.
So I'm expecting we'll see
And then Orvar
Crossroads
always gets
for
to
the
copy
third
the
black,
Connoisseur.
and then bloodthirsty
Oh, that's
adversary kick
broken.
that molten, knock out this smoldering egg.
You get to Connoisseur your
Or-
opponent back.
Hear me out, Jeff.
Oh, why
You
wasn't I
could just
playing that
cast City
card?
Stalker Connoisseur.
Oh my god.
I
why wasn't I
actually
playing that card?
think this is one of those instances where City Stalker is not the best play. I think taking the
that's
smoldering
probably
egg out
because I'm
before
playing
it
best
has
of
a
one.
chance to flip over into that Ashmouth Dragon has a lot of value, and you
What's the
know
bond?
Dane Blast is about to start seeing more cards. You really want to take this window where you know your removal spell is going to resolve.
I used the bond too soon.
I agree. I think with
I didn't even think about Orvar.
Not
I didn't
knowing
think that.
what
I
the
didn't even
hand
think about
is,
it doing that.
Connoisseur might be correct, but knowing there's a win.
I only realized that the card did
both
that after I
a
did
bunch
it.
of new cards and 4 immediate counters on the egg. I think I agree.
Okay, going with the City Stalker Connoisseur. And again, it's tough to be unhappy
Maybe
with
that's a
casting this.
product of me
This
never playing
outcome
best
just
of
likely
3 in the
means that
past,
Smoldering
like,
is going to get
2
some
weeks.
time to be flipped over, which
Maybe
is
people play
very
that in
scary.
Best
The
of 3 and I would've
Ashmouth
known
Dragon
about it
on the
before.
backside is a very powerful card that closes things out quickly.
Yeah, I mean, there also are multiple answers too, right? So the adversary can flash back the removal spell. Invoke Despair also plays here too, although albeit
Gosh,
a little
Molten
bit
Impact
risky
is
because
so
if it is divided by
strong.
0 or something like that, it could be a big swing. But
Yeah. The real concern is if Dane Blast draws
Orvar
even
is
a
busted
divide by
in
0
EDH.
to tempo
It
it,
really,
that could
really
give
is.
the Ashmouth
I
Dragon
played
a time
against
to
it
close
in
the
EDH
game out.
combo.
However, fortunately for Hackmage here, there isn't a whole lot going on for our blue-red player after City Stalker tears apart their hand a little bit.
yeah, I mean, slight constellation here with a Scry land and then a Channel land. But yeah, unfortunately, just a little bit short on the Dragon. Again, killing a Connoisseur is certainly fine, but doesn't feel great. There are creature lands available for Dane here. We have both a Bugbear and a Hive of, or Frost, whatever, Temple of Frost Giant, whatever it's called. The blue one, the big 7/7.
All
And,
the Storm
so
Giants, yep.
there you go, Hall of Storm Giants. And so there is some action in these lands, but there's a lot going on Hackmage's side of the board.
Plumber? I don't think I used
There's
the
just
Plumber
even
recent.
more card advantage coming up
I just didn't
here.
know that card did that. I
We
didn't
have an
know Orvar
untapped
did that.
land
Like,
potentially Forsaken
in
Crossroads. Little
hindsight,
tip
I just side out all my
for the
discard
viewers
cards,
watching
and
at
I'm
home,
fine.
that blue border around Crossroads means it has the option to be untapped.
Like, but I
Leading on
didn't
the
realize that
attack
card
here,
did
it
that.
looks like, so I imagine that means this is the Invoke Despair turn as opposed to the Bloodthirsty Adversary.
Yeah, surprised why it wouldn't be pre-combat. I guess the Bugbear can pop in for a block maybe, but you kind of would be happy trading Volky for Bugbear anyway, so...
Yeah, I feel like we haven't quite given this Ashmouth Dragon the respect it deserves in the matchup, and our blue-red player is a little bit flooded, so they're not going to be able to punish for it, but generally speaking, prioritizing taking Ashmouth Dragon out of play is a good sequence.
Yeah, I think it's obviously a bit of caster vision here, right? Because we see 2 lands and a 4 damage spell, but Hackmage
I probably
only
should have
sees
brought
2
in all
blank
my
cards and
Go-Blank.
a 4 damage spell, and there's a wide variety of counter spells to play around here. We see Jawari Disruption, of
I didn't
course.
bring-
and
actually, I didn't
Stroke,
bring in
et
all
cetera,
my
et cetera.
Go-Blanks.
So, Hackmage, it's obviously much more difficult for them not knowing what these cards in hand.
I didn't bring in all my Go-Blanks because there's a lot of situations where they're just top decking because we both discard each other and then we're both top decking. So Go-Blank is not that good when they don't have a hand. But maybe I should have brought in all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we were discussing potential pitfalls there for Hackmage, and that was one of them. That Invoke Despair, killing a token, drawing some cards is not bad, but for 5 mana and the only spell of that, pretty important turn, not exactly what you want. And now we see this egg ready to rock and roll. Divide by 0 withdraw. It's a lot of spells to be cast, and still plenty of resources for Hackmage, but this could be the beginning of a comeback for Dane.
Yeah, I think
and this is kind of the power
match,
of
I
Ashmouth
think
Dragon.
Orvar wasn't in the
Ashmouth
game.
Dragon's a card that's capable of closing a game out so quickly. The game doesn't have to be about attrition from Dane Blast's side from here on out. You can just tempo them.
Yeah,
with
if I had
cards
drawn
like
a Go
Divide by
Blank, of
Zero
course I would have
eventually
used
run
it.
them
I had
down
2 of them in the deck.
before
I just didn't bring all
Hackmage
3 of
could
them
play
in.
through
Who
all
knows
of
what I
those
would have
2
drawn
for
if
1s
I
they have
didn't,
in hand.
if I brought that one in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, looks like we're going for a proactive Divide by 0
That was
here.
crazy.
Volky, perhaps. This is the last 3 mana the Smoldering Egg needs to flip over into the Ashmouth Dragon.
Yeah, this is a bit risky, though, because, of course, Volky, another card that's not really great to bounce, because it starts out as an Alpha Mirror, 2-1 for 2. But on the backside, there's a 7-mana Planeswalker, which is quite powerful in play. That can also minus to kill the Ashmouth Dragon as well.
Now we see the mouse over at Hackmage and say, well, this is a 7th land tier. Can drop that as Volky next turn. There's the Teachings. Get to get that 2 damage upstairs. Hoping to draw another Divide by 0, honestly, if you're on Dane Blast side. Some type of counterspell or negate, for example, in these couple of draws.
Yeah, Dane is now the Delver deck. Gotta just protect this dragon, get in for a few attacks, and kill quickly. And not a terrible... Actually, they already played a land? They already put a land this turn. All right, so that's rough. Yeah. So Volky is free to play here.
Yep.
Of course,
And, the shields are down on Dane Blast's side here. So your board is clear, and they're knocking you down to 10, but you get to go ahead and deploy your very powerful Planeswalker next turn and take their threat off the board.
And there are no, it is open deck list, no spell pierces or anything like that, so coast is clear. Gonna blood here and get rid of the land.
Making sure of what our colors are before we decide what we get rid of. Honestly, I might ditch the Hive of the Eye Tyrant here.
That's my thought too. It seems very unlikely that both hives will come into play this game, and having just clean untapped lands for the next few turns seems important. With big things to do, Adversary of course scales up very, very well. For 5 mana, it can flashback 1 spell. For 8, it can flashback 2 spells.
Yep, and be a 4/4 at the same time with haste rate ready to close that game out.
Yeah, so we see a 7-drop and an 8-drop in hand right now, and now a lot more too.
Yep. Creature lands, valuable resources when you're low on resources, but in a spot like this, resources just in abundance for Hackmage here.
Yeah, the only way Hackmage loses this game is by getting kind of cheesed out. Dane's able to push through just enough damage, maybe bounce a key spell at one time, and kind of stumble across the finish line.
I think Go Blank might be like super good in this tournament.
So therefore, Hackmage's play should be
Orvar,
as defensive and safe as possible.
Now, we talked about that Hall of the Storm Giants earlier. There are enough mana on Dane's side. We could see an attack for as much as 8 this turn if Dane just wants to get aggressive.
Yeah, and that's the kind of path, to victory here for sure. To get that big chunk of damage in and then try and find that last 2 points somewhere. Then the Bugbear can go wide a little bit. Definitely the bounce spell here or there could be a thing, but Volky's also a card you don't necessarily want to leave on the table here. It's because they have Bugbear attack. Honestly, maybe a Windfall into Bugbear attack to get in, finish off Tibalt, get in for a few points, build the board as well. And then that also puts Hackmage at exactly 7, so that Hall will always be lethal at any point and must be defended against.
Trying to sit through and figure out what decisions they want to make here. The Invoke Calamity means that there are a ton of permutations the way this turn can play out with all the cards that we see in Dane Blast Graveyard. Can cast a combination of spells up to 6 mana from the graveyard.
Yep, and then also the Windfall too, which is 2 unknown cards as well. So a lot of things to work through, both cards available and potential draws too, with a pretty good
I
amount.
don't know how I'm going to beat Orvar in this tournament if I keep playing against people that are having.
Definitely
I guess
not
I'm just going to sign out
surprised
all my
to see our
discard spells and
timeups
just never
getting
discard
used
anything.
up here. So our player tries to figure out what sequence they want to go through. Windfall 2, the way it makes those treasures, effectively just being a 2-mana spell this turn if you want to cash those in right away.
Yeah, I think that Windfall, see what you draw, and then Bugbear, kill Volky getting for 3 is a pretty reasonable spot to be, I think. Leaving 2 tokens on the board clear Planeswalkers, still 2 creature lands.
Something that's actually kind of amusing.
Oh my god, I got the spike for the ball.
The red-black player side for Hackmage. Remember, this Smoldering Egg is going to get cast even if Tibalt goes down here, which means that the 7 mana worth of spells in Hackmage's hand, Invoke Despair plus Painful Bond, could just flip it right on over.
Hackmage is going to get their own copy of it. Undercity Plunder is so freaking good. You
So
just
many
run your opponent out
resources.
of cards.
And now we see, though, that at Hive of the Eye look a little bit awkward here. You know, there's a lot of resources to deploy, and you want mana every turn to do it. And I kind of doubt we'll see Hive activated this game at any point. So, even though it's already in play. So,
Surprised that Smoldering Egg doesn't
let's
come
see
down
what this Plunder
first.
turns up.
I have to imagine the Plunder is drawing a card out of Dane Blast's deck. At this point, you're looking at Hackmage's hand. You're like, you got 7 cards in hand already. Have an 8th. That doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. And it's
It's a pretty good one to get.
That is a good
Pretty
one.
good one.
Yep. Now there does need to be something in play for Hackmage here, I think, to try and push this issue a little bit. Is there enough mana to deploy a threat and leave it Divide? Doesn't really look like it. If there was an untapped land available, we could see Fable plus Divide. I guess we could see Egg plus Divide. That works too. A lot of options.
Yeah, this is kind of I really like the direction Wizards has kind of pushed this format with both their digital rebalances and designs. I feel like it's been a long time since a mid-range 2-for-1 deck like what Hackmage is playing has really been competitive in Magic's formats. And it's nice to see it really get to slug.
Well, I mean, the mid-range 2-for-1 deck gets like
there's a lot of
infinite
cool,
draw
fun
spells.
cards too. Like Fable the Mirrorbreaker is just a really fun card. Just a lot of cool things. It's a pretty cool lesson in tempo. With the first token, a little bit of hand fixing, copying stuff's really, really cool. It doesn't feel broken or anything like that, but it's just a super solid card. It's a lot of fun to play.
Invoke Calamity here. Yep.
So now, question is, does Divide by 0 hit this or not? Now, of course, if it is divided, there'll be no learn, and the Invoke can be cast on the following turn.
Remember, Jim. Oh yeah, there's no learn because of. I was thinking that of a lesson, but this card's been nerfed. It's a 5-mana spell. There's no learn.
Yep. Could have rummaged if it was the original version. A little discard draw, but unsubstantiated, still pretty good in this current spot. But it's going to resolve. So we're going to see Invoke is going to copy a Molten Impact from the graveyard and a Windfall. That is pretty good.
Okay, and then are we going to divide the Windfall then? Okay.
So now it's important to note that this casts the actual spells in the graveyard, not make copies of them. Like I believe Finale of Promise makes copies of them. So the Windfall will go back to hand here. It is available next turn. Under the card draw for turn, we can see Windfall as well. But it's another Egg.
Okay, yeah, Egg here is one of the few cards you don't really want to discard to your Windfall. Honestly, I kind of like Egg into Smash with a creature land here.
Yeah, and once again, we see an open path to Hackmage's life total via the Hall of the Storm Gods. And here we go. Coming in for 8 points. And now Hackmage has all the resources in the world, but is at a rather precarious 2 life. And needs to be really careful that these 2 points don't get stuck across here.
See, quick look at the graveyard here as we untap with a bunch of mana. And Bloodthirsty Adversary getting to double kick here kind of sounds pretty appealing, right? You get to go ahead and take the last card out of hand for Dane Blast with the Undercity Plunder, and then you can KO the Smoldering Egg with the Deal 4.
Yeah, it feels like a great turn to me. Although, no, actually, that's not going to work because double kicking it would allow the Bugbear to come in.
Oh, gosh.
Will do that. That's what I was saying about this. 2 life is scary, and there's so many resources for Hackmage here, but if you die with all of them in your hand, it's going to be tough. So it needs to affect the board here in multiple ways.
Yeah, and
the fear also is this under this Windfall could just draw into a few spells, flip the Egg, and just the 2 damage can go immediately to face and be lethal. So
yeah, this could honestly be we only kick this once, and we Undercity Plunder to take the 1 card out of your hand, and then we play out another blocker, so we're then not dead to the Bugbear because there's Invoke Despair and Hagra Mauling to deal with other things. And Disdainful Stroke's a good pickup because now you can Bloodthirsty Adversary as just a blocker whilst holding Stroke up.
Yeah, that was another really good hit. So I give it to you. The punters have been awesome this game. Hitting Divide by Zero and Stroke is excellent.
You just have to believe, Jim. Have a little bit of faith.
Yep.
The Undercity will deliver.
So now chose to not play the Adversary. If the old Bugbear comes rumbling in here,
well, we do have Hagra Mauling for the Dead of the Bugbear, which is actually kind of an interesting decision for Dean which creature land they want to fire up, right? Because the Hall of the Storm Giants has Ward 3. So even, you know, if there's a 2-mana removal spell for Hackmage, that can't touch the Storm Giants.
Yeah, so Hall is basically just tap 7 lands, kill this 3/3 for free. But gonna go for the higher octane play here, a Bugbear for lethal.
Announcement received.
Yep, have to imagine. Excuse me?
Uh-oh.
So at this sequence, we just took 1 damage, right?
Yeah, so taking an extra point here, going down to 1, which also makes this Painful Bond much more painful. Can't really cast it with a card just you want to cast in your hand, so blocking the non-goblin, smart. And down to a precarious 1.
Yeah, and you know, there's Spikefield hazards in deck for Dane Blast as well, so this means future ones of those are lethal. This 1/1 is now lethal on its own. Okay, that's a Spikefield, and we have enough mana that we could see Spikefield into Invoke Despair, clean up the egg, and then still get to hold up Disdainful Stroke, and maybe that's the beginning of stabilization?
Yeah, I mean, the 7/7 is still pretty scary, but...
You can chump block that for a couple of turns.
Yeah, I think that Hackmage wants to try to avoid the spot where they die to 1 removal spell. I mean, there's enough mana to... I guess there's only not enough mana for a 2-mana removal spell for and the Hall, because now the Bugbear is gone. But...
Yep.
Alright, gonna go for the Invoke. Which will draw 2, deal 4, and kill the egg. Ooh.
That's a Graveyard Trespasser. Man, this is a tough spot. I feel like I want to hold Disdainful Stroke here, but I also have Caster Vision looking at an unexpected windfall at hand. And, you know, on Hackmage's side, there is some appeal to playing this Graveyard Trespasser out to play
I'd play the Painful Bond and then hold up to Disdainful Stroke.
Yeah, and just, you know, it just gets the ball rolling, too, as far as gains a life or 2 to keep the top decks away, and then also can just close the game out reasonably fast, too.
Abandon Mire here. Oh, are we going to attack?
Oh wait, Painful Bond doesn't discard. That's not a blunder.
And if we can get aggressive here, because they do need to close the game out.
They need to go to main 2.
The clock is starting to tick, now under 10 minutes.
Yeah, and remember, this is only game 2, right? If Hackmage loses this game, they're going to have to play a game 3 with the remaining timer.
Yep. Alright, so it's no longer in Spikefield hazard range.
I'd hold the Takenuma. Oh, that's a good draw.
All right, we got some card draw here. So Dane still drawing.
Good draw like Goldspan Dragon killed him.
Okay, unexpected conversion, generating some cards here, but again, it's just more churn. And at this point, that we talked about the Hive of the Eye Tyrant maybe not being relevant, all of a sudden it is presenting lethal with the extra drain from the Trespasser.
That is true. Also, Adversary and Stroke available too. So I think Hackmage has got this one. I think that there's enough stuff here where the corner can be turned, and now without a Spikefield hazard to draw to, you know. With all of his card draw, finding hazard could definitely be a real thing. But now 2 life, reasonably safe. Ooh. So a couple invokes that aren't castable. And an impact. Now this buys a turn at least, right? So now the impact can take out one of these 3/3s. And Invoke is available for next turn, but that Disdainful Stroke is going to be pretty backbreaking. Of course, not often you play around a counterspell from your opponent's Rakdos deck. So this game is probably going to end on a big attempt at Invoke.
Chaos?
And
We're playing it. We lost round 1, so we're going to watch this while we're waiting for the next round.
Dane Blast has in store for their future. Choice here of whether to impact the 3/3 or the Trespasser. Trespasser requires a discard, but also will stop some life gain, some extra damage. It's amazing how long this game has gone. Hackmage had so many resources early on and looked to be really, really far ahead, but Dane's done a good job of kind of supplying pressure in the right spots and just putting Hackmage in a scary spot where it's like, oh my god, am I going to lose this game? All right, decided to play a land and just kill the adversary as a 3/3. So Trespasser lives. Currently, it's actually just lethal on board. Yeah, so it's 7 damage on the board, and then the adversary in hand as well. That is 10. My math is correct. We have 5 for the Hive, 5 for the adversary. So this should be lethal here.
Yeah, you go untap land, get the Hive back, Bloodthirsty Adversary, pump it. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah.
If we go for the lethal line here, there is 2 mana available and 2 unknown cards in hand for Dane Blast.
For sure. And then with the Stroke actually in hand, there's definitely some like, okay, maybe I can just wait.
Round 1, I got destroyed.
Here, I don't need to go for the kill.
Hey, thank you, Lucky Chaos.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Hackmage.
Yeah, I got destroyed by the same deck we lost to on the ladder.
Also need to decide what
the
the
red-black
adversary is
deck.
going to do, how far it's going to go.
I feel like you play the Takenuma first just to not get auto-tappered.
We can see a Ghast kick twice here and still have mana available for the Disdainful Stroke.
Like, you just plunder. If you have game on board anyway, you just plunder.
First to be plunder, going to potentially generate a little bit more value here. Maybe just Spike
Rope's
Field
going.
Hazard for the extra 1.
The rope's going. All right. Close there on the rope. So we'll see the windfalls that get discarded here.
I mean, let's see if he activates the Hive. Does he see it? Carved Coast?
Land, it's fine.
Carved Coast? Play it? Oops.
Not sure
They still have lethal available, right? There's a creature between the graveyards?
Yep.
Go on Carved Coast, activate the land,
So
I
it could go-
suppose
exile your own creature.
we could see them be conservative here and choose to just play a little bit defensively, only attacking with the Trespasser.
Yeah,
like, if
I
there's
mean,
a removal
honestly,
spell,
I don't know how many
then
cards
he
are in
loses, and he
Dane's
might
deck
take
that
the
can actually
conservative line.
kill a 3-toughness creature here, and then if the last card is, I guess the fear is if the last card's a removal spell, then just the creature land just kills.
Oh,
So
I really don't like this attack. I think if you are going to play defensively here, you need to leave back an extra blocker because now you're gonna die to a removal spell on your 3/3 potentially. So like if you're worried about them being able to kill a 3/3 inside of combat here, they can definitely kill your 3/3 on the battlefield next turn. So I definitely don't
Very
like
fair.
the attack here from Hackmage.
yeah, that's part of just kind of like thinking ahead, kind of making your plays make sense over the course of this turn, but the next few turns as well, and understanding it like, okay, well, they have it here, what's going to happen next turn?
What deck am I playing? It's in the stream title. Grixis Midrange.
Divide by 0 of a draw. Of course, divide by 0 cannot remove lands. So the Hive is safe at present. Invoke castable, but again, Disdainful Stroke ready to rock and roll here for a surprise counterspell.
Are Dean Blast trying to figure out if they have a way out of this with that Invoke Calamity in hand. A lot of permutations the way things can play out. We see a red-black player again. Double checking here. The Disdainful Stroke going to be able to throw a kink in this plan. And again, just the play patterns of these direct-to-digital cards giving this Rakdos deck access to a tool it normally wouldn't because of the Stroke out of the opponent's deck.
Yep.
Must submit to join the lobby. I think you can see my stream title from where you are, right?
I'm getting excited for this Disdainful Stroke being held back
It's
here.
okay, I forgive you. I forgive you, Lucky Chaos. You'll get it next time.
And
Painful stroke.
There it is. Surprise. And that should do it. Stroke countering the invoke. And now there's a divide by 0 left over. I suppose the divide could bounce the stroke. Then it would just be recast though. So
Divide can
again, the
bounce
stroke is a
invoke
conjured copy of the card,
You're
not
double.
the
Also
actual
thanks for the
copy from
forgiveness,
Game
almighty
Blast deck.
landlord.
So the divide would not return
You,
to Game Blast
yes,
hand. It goes
I will
back
be
to
called the
Mage's hand,
almighty
where it can be
landlord.
cast again.
I will refuse to be called nothing less. Bow down to land.
So could have divide by 0 the invoke back to hand, but of course to have it next turn, there's not going to be a next turn. So this should do it here.
Just do this to be safe.
Stalker Connoisseur for good measure, I suppose, because
Oh, yeah, he already knows
Dean
about it. Oh, extra
hasn't-
value on the way
hasn't
out,
picked
you know?
in yet. And honestly, for both these players, it's almost a good thing this game ended in game 2 because their clocks are real low here. This match was a real slog.
Yeah, definitely a pretty crazy game. You know, about 15 minutes ago, we were like, oh wow, what a flush of resources game we have for our Rakdos player. And really, I mean, great job by Dune to kind of drag that one out and put it in a spot where they could win a game they looked really, really behind.
Sweet. All right. Well, we actually have a third feature match for round 1
God,
here.
don't
The
show
round
mine.
itself is dragging a little bit, but through the magic of
Don't show
time
mine.
shifted, we've got plenty of things to cover here. So let's just keep the
Don't show
action right on rolling here. So our third feature for this round, we've got some Grixis versus some more red black. I think red
So I
black
guess they-
is
did they
definitely
show
going
mine
to
already
be
or
the
no?
deck of the tournament for us here today.
Yeah, for sure. You know, not only was it already a good deck, but a lot of the cool new cards fit into it pretty well.
See, Rahilda wanted Cutthroat here out of the Grixis deck. Ton of digital cards here. Fresh Alchemy for Ginkgo on the bottom here. Rahilda, Under City Plunder, City Stalker,
open so far?
Connoisseur. Very
Awful.
different
We played
than
round
the
1 and we
parallel
got
standard
destroyed.
format.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rahilda is the kind of card that it can snowball
looking
really
for-
well, but when your decks are packed
they
with
showed
removal,
my
it can be a
match
little bit of a
already.
liability.
We got destroyed by Orvar of all
All right, so
cards.
see Plunder once again. And, I was saying earlier how Plunder can be a little awkward sometimes when you're drawing cards out of your opponent's deck that don't necessarily jive with your own game plan. Here in this sort of pseudo mirror, basically any card from Midguy's deck is probably going to be good in Ginkgo's deck as well. So a little more cost to giving your opponent a card here, but it looks like that's what they're going to do. It is. There you go. There's an adversary.
Labeled of the Mirror Breaker here, coming down that fourth land, rolled up right away. Missing that second black, but still has City Stalker to slam on in. And I imagine we're going to see
That's
Hagra
kinda
Mullen
neat,
get
though. I don't
discarded
think I've
here,
seen
having
him in
your own
anything.
2-for-1 in City Stalker.
He's a
here for
really,
the guy.
really powerful
Yeah, it's pretty
CEDH
funny,
commander.
honestly, how Mauling is a pretty
But I
nice safety
also
valve
lost
against Connoisseur to
to that
protect
card
your
in
4 mana and 3 mana
last
plays.
After I
Just being
cast
a
City
land
Stalker
you can discard to
and
Connoisseur.
Undercity
Connoisseur
Plunder,
being such a
two
powerful card in
different
the
times
format,
discarding
having
that,
access to that's
and they
pretty big.
copied my cards and their
See a
cards.
little bit of awkwardness here from Midguy, those utility lands, biting them in
It was
a little bit
absolutely
here with
insane.
all of these tapped lands, making them not able to City Stalker this turn.
Ooh,
Now we
Midguy
got a little bit of a
Kaido.
Grixis mirror almost, Jim.
Yeah, that's Kaido being one of the main differences between Grixis and Rakdos, and now our Rakdos player has their own Kaido. This is great.
See, pause here. I like this attack with the Spike Field Hazard in hand. It kind of looks like you're maybe just making a treasure, but then if this block gets taken, the Spike Field Hazard will finish off the Connoisseur.
All right, we got so it looks like Ginkgo is a little bit ahead here. Has Sorin available, can't cast it just yet, but almost there.
Ooh.
Now Painful Bond is good too, and then Adversary lined up as well. Kaido with no attacker just yet to be super good. Although we do have the Fabled Mirror Breaker flipping soon, along with the Connoisseur.
Hey, there's that second land here. The Sorin gonna get taken by the Connoisseur this turn. Just that powerful 2-for-1 style of effect. There is removal spells lined up here for Ginkgo, so at the very least they're not gonna get locked out by that Reflection plus City Stalker interaction we saw earlier.
Yeah, and then the
But
Adversary
also
looking
the
pretty
player
good
was
too,
really good
honestly.
too. He was one of Jim's
Being able to flash
one
back
of
that
Jim
card draw
Davis's
spell.
teammates.
That's kind of the
helped
key difference
instruct
between
Jim Davis's
the Rakdos
team
versions
to
of the
know
deck and the Grixis
for
versions
the
of the deck, where
championship.
the Grixis versions rely more on Kaido for card advantage, whereas the Rakdos versions rely more on the the Bloodthirsty Adversary. Pretty amusing to see the swap here, with each deck having its other card advantage engine in play, or available in hand.
Right, and Bloodthirsty Adversary, a chance to make back up some of that card advantage here. There is that Painful in the Graveyard for Ginkgo, so they could draw a couple of cards here. Or we could even see Plunder is a 2-for-1 that takes resources away from mid guy here, might actually be the line.
Yeah, I think that's almost better, you know?
Yeah. This is, you know, kind of the power of Undercity Plunder here. Mid guy chose not to discard a second card earlier and instead gave Ginkgo basically a 3-for-1 instead of just discarding a second card with what was drawn here.
Yeah, now, and the interesting here too is that this plays poorly into Kaido, but mid guy shouldn't have Kaido because mid guy is a Rakdos deck, which is pretty amusing, you know. So by making this play, now the Connoisseur can attack and then Kaido can start drawing cards, but pretty hard thing to plan for when there's not, you know, any blue lands in play or Kaido's in the deck.
Folk Despair drawn off the top for mid guy. Gonna go ahead and deal with this adversary and draw some cards here.
After I saw that, I was like,
yeah,
God,
pretty powerful top deck there. It's not often there's a play better than Kaido on this turn, but that was definitely it.
Honestly, I don't even know if that's a better play than Kaido. I think Kaido might still be the better play.
2 double spell turn here for Ginkgo. Actually going to end up working out in a way where Kaido does not get to draw a card. I guess potentially. Depends on if we open by sequencing the attack first on mid guy's side. You probably get the plus before, because there's not a strong reason to power word kill the Connoisseur before the Kaido comes down.
Right. If you know you're playing against Grixis here, you probably don't allow the attack to go through. But again, this is just a Rakdos deck. You know, like it's pretty unlikely there's a Kaido as the card taken off of the Plunder. So we get to see Kaido come down here. This is a really big spot. I'm sure Ginkgo's a little like, oh, really? Come on. And Kaido comes down, starts drawing cards. It's protected for the turn. This is pretty good.
There isn't really Ginkgo's deck and mid guy's deck in this match, Jim. It's just like our
Plunder.
decks, really. It's a communal card.
Plunder's so insane.
Right. They're definitely playing the game together.
We see here Rahilda in hand here too
so
for
good.
Ginkgo, another card that draws cards off of your opponent's deck in a way that's kind of sweet.
So gonna give a card
This
here.
tournament is gonna be interesting.
That's
I'm gonna have to hold
That was
cards
an
in my
adversary
hand
going the other way.
that I want to play. Maybe
I think
just
that
to discard a
Rahilda
second
might have
card
been
off
worth
Plunder.
less than
Like,
a
maybe an
random
extra land or
card in
something
mid
instead of
guy's
playing
hand.
it.
It's really hard to say, of course. There is a loot coming from the Fable as well, so desire to try and find some good stuff here. And gonna get paid off. Gonna be able to discard both of these probably for value. We're gonna keep Rahilda, but more plunders.
The Undercity shall not be satisfied until all the plundering has commenced, Jim.
There's a land and then a draw. Ooh,
Wow.
It really is just one shared card pool of cards.
All right, and we'll note here that Kaido has that circle around it, which means it has been phased out. It does look like, for those of you keeping up with the tournament in real time, that round 2 has been paired. So we're going to go ahead and use the magic of time shift here to speed this one up a little bit. We're going to watch it to its natural conclusion, but a little bit faster than 1x since these players are done playing. So the other digital design here in Molten Impact, going to get to deal with this Rahilda.
On round 2.
Interesting to see
Rakdos
Painful
Sacrifice
Bond
is
not
not
happen.
my
I might have
best
wanted to
matchup.
see
Oh,
what
it's probably
other
my worst
cards come off
matchup.
the top of our deck on mid guy's side
God,
before
I don't
want
wanna play
Oh,
against
never
Molten
mind.
Anvil.
This triggers the... This is... Okay.
Crap.
Molten Impact is such a gas card. So the Painful Bond triggers the Molten Impact.
Why do I have to play
Afterwards,
against
ignore
these
me. Mid guy
rinky-dink
is on the
decks?
ball. This is
I don't
fantastic.
want to play against the
Yeah,
rinky-dink
that's really
deck.
cool. That's definitely a super cool card.
Don't you like when your draw
Is that
2
okay
also
for the
just like
5
happens to
months?
shock the other thing you left on the board after your
Well, only
removal spell?
one more
Seems
month
clean.
until you're a
Yeah,
chameleon.
that's pretty awesome. And then also the floor just being, you know, a lava coil or whatever is also quite good too. So very, very impactful card from the new alchemy set.
God, I don't want to play against
Speaking
Rakdos
of,
Sacrifice.
Our deck, Futurist Spell Thief here in hand, enters the battlefield. Conjure a duplicate of target spell into your hand. So this targets spells while they are on the stack to give you copies of them. Yeah.
Okay, now we are back. Back to emote only mode. Give us some profits. Give us some wins. Give us the profit emote. Profiting. Wow. Dispute, Synthesizer, Anvil, Bond, Brushstroke, Voltage Surge, Molten Impact. God, everyone's playing Painful Bond and Molten Impact in this tournament. Meat Hook, Blood Fountain, Shatter Skull, Hagra Mauling, and then 4 Epicures as the only real creatures. Gosh, and City Stalker Connoisseur was probably awful. There's nothing in this deck that's 3 mana value or greater. Besides, like, Hagra Mauling. I don't think I can go to 5, though. Yikes. I need a 2-mana creature. Like, how do I kill them, right? Like, there's so much life drain. A Braid is really good. And that's one of the reasons why I'm playing a Braid is for this matchup. But, like, I need to kill their Anvil. I need to kill their... Basically just... I need to save this for Anvil, then. So go black Anvil, please. Be a really hard matchup. I think this is my worst matchup in the whole field. I wonder how many of this deck is actually in the tournament. I need to save Bloodchief's Thirst for Blood Artist. And I was a little bit greedy with my lands here, putting a land back, thinking that I would draw a land in the next 3 draws, but maybe I don't draw a land in 3 draws. They probably have one of the 4 copies of Voltage Surge in their hand right now. Only card they could have outside of possibly using this blood token. I need to draw a land so I can go back to back to back Connoisseurs. I'll even take a Kaido right now. I'll take something. Trespasser's not awful. Play, I guess. They have 3 Molten Impact in their deck. And they can Voltage Surge this Graveyard Trespasser, but they'll have to discard a card. They also could have Hagra Mauling. I don't have a basic land. Good. We're gonna Painful Bond. We're playing 4 Painful Bond, 4 Deadly Dispute. What's up with all of my opponents playing 1 Sorin? They had the Voltage Surge the whole time, just decided not to use it. Really need to draw land. Land! Thank you. Let's get this down. Just try to chain them. I got rid of a Molten Impact. Voltage Surge. That does kill it. Yep. Kills it with the Molten Impact trigger. Alright, so maybe we Braid the Hive? I mean, they don't have anything really going on here. Like, not really. just gonna keep running out the City Stalker. I could just like Blood Tithe plus. I can't Blood Tithe and a Braid, so I guess my hand's scripted for me here. Another Voltage Surge. Synthesizer. Good card. Wow! Sick draw. Sick draw. Wow. Okay. I draw a red source. This one's pretty good. I really wish I could. Honestly, this Blood Tithe Harvester might be too bad. If I Sorin minus. I can't abrade the Anvil and cast another spell.
Consider yourself
I think I need the lifelink.
You can deal with my servant. I'm busy.
Please win this. I need to win this. My theory here is if they use the Hive, it uses almost their whole turn. And then I can just trade. I can just like let Sorin die. Or I could trade Hive for the 2/3 lifelink, or trade Hive for the City Stalker. Okay, they could have a 2 damage removal here with the 1/1. They could have like. Could have like. A Voltage Surge. Already 3 Voltage Surges in there. The likelihood of them having another removal spell is pretty bad, right? I'll let Sorin die and try to gain the life off this. They might sack the Anvil. I should have blocked the 2/3 on this. Dispute. Okay, so I wasn't gaining the life anyway, because they could just like sack this. They could sack the whatever when I was lifelinking anyway.
What's one more grudge?
That's a good draw. Like, if they keep using Hive, I think that's good for me. Wrap! I don't have another way in my deck to get rid of that. We're going to have to try to lifelink our way out of this. Bloodchief's Thirst isn't going to do it, but we have to save the Bloodchief's Thirst for the other card. They don't have it yet. I think I just need to do this. I'm in too bad of a situation here. Question is, can I beat this anvil? Probably not. Ido? Oh my god, I would tap my red source. God, the odds of me drawing that was so low. This is a really, really, really bad matchup. Okay. I can double block this, and then I can town raise with the other creature land. I might have needed to triple block, actually. Nope, triple block is still fine. Double block's still fine. Okay. I don't have Meat Hook in my main deck. I'm discarding this card now. Outside of Sorin, that's the only thing that would punish me for doing that. I'm gonna wait on it, in case they play Sorin. But am I okay with dying? They don't have any 1 damage spells, right? They're just planning to sack it with Anvil? Or that? It's the last Bolted Surge in their deck. Yes! I was right. I'm not using blood.
My people savage.
Talk, Jeff.
You deal with this annoyance. Things have not gone my way.
Hope you're ready for some mind games. Now, what do we have here?
You can definitely still lose this game, though. Need to draw an answer. If they meat hook for one, I'm probably dead. If they don't have meat hook, or else I would have done it. There's 3 meat hooks in the deck. I need to protect against that. Okay, Plunder might give me a meat hook. Like, if I meat hook, I might just die. No, I don't die to my own meat hook. Painful Bond? Be okay. Connoisseur.
Now this is a juicy secret.
Card's not good. This card's really bad to Blood Artist. What can I draw into? My own Voltage Surge, Blood Chief's Thirst. Top deck Anvil! Crap! Did I take like almost double the damage? One, two, three, four, five. I go to 7. I'm taking 5 a turn now. And there's an extra damage off the brushstroke, and 2 more 1/1s. Oh, it sucked so bad. God, those top picks were unreal. How do I beat this? I need to draw an answer. I don't have another answer to Anvils. I'm gonna have to draw their meat hook off the top. 4 lands in a row. Blood Fountain? This can get me back my Town Razor and my Blood Tithe Harvester.
There's no secret I can't uncover.
I might just be dead. I need meat hook. The question is, do I have time to Blood Fountain plus do that? I don't think so. I need meat hook right now. Deadly Dispute? Okay, I can draw into... I can sack the Blood Fountain. And draw into Blood Chief's Thirst, please. Crap! I gave myself the outs. Graveyard Trespasser can gain life, but I think I might just be dead this turn. Haste creatures. Yep. Needed Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay, Meat Hook, Sorin, Nighthawk, Trespasser. Hilda probably never gets through. Harvester's okay. Fable's only really good in the late game. Sewer's probably pretty bad. They have Duress, Rahilda, Sokenzan. Sokenzan Smelter? Soren, check for traps, Connoisseur, Infernal Grass, and Folk Despair. Vetoed. Take the anvil. Two voltage surge. Didn't get the anvil, but they have 2 removal spells already. They bolt this. They did not bolt it. I'm gonna try to get a land from them if they don't discard 2 cards. They might just discard 2 cards though. Bolted? Yes, land. I got their anvil. Okay, so I can gain life. Okay, that could be good for me. Ooh, we got the land. That's even better. I think they're planning on deadly disputing. But like, if they voltage surge my Graveyard Trespasser, I'm also okay with that. Wow, Experimental Synthesizer getting Deadly Dispute off the top 2 games in a row is broken.
Could sneak right by, but I'm
yes.
Now,
oh my gosh, I called it.
What do we have here?
I literally called the land off the top. There's so many cards in hand after I did that. I discarded like 2 cards out of their hand and they have like 7 cards right now.
I'll try again later. They don't have any abrades. I don't think they have a way to kill that. Problem with Soren is that they have the hive. They can also Blood Fountain back their epic here. Did want that. Did want that. With the right tools, I can do anything. Our eyes are everywhere.
I need a braid. I could have Connoisseur. Brush Stroke. Alright, that's fine. I can power kill that. Voltage Surge.
used to being uninvited.
I'm at 18 life, which is good. That's good. They also have Shadow Skull smashing to kill my stuff too. And they can Shadow Skull for 5 with what they already have on board.
For the sake of all Innistrad, my will must be obeyed. You will serve me well.
I'm auto-passing with a stop at combat. So much burn damage. Auto pass. God, this card's so good.
We're all doomed.
The system can't fix
Yes.
every. Thanks. I'll be taking that now.
Auto pass. All right. I need them to use this card. Or I need to discard out of their hand.
this is a juicy secret.
Because, like, if I play Soren and minus it here, they just Shadow Skull both of them and then kill Soren. And I don't have time to wait, though.
Get in, get out. Easy mission. Now, what do we have here?
Alright, so now they kill my stuff. Because I have the Nighthawk. They're going to use the Shadow Skull on it, then I can win with Soren, hopefully. I need them to use that Shadow Skull before I drop the Soren. But at least when they use their Shadow Skull, they can't kill my Kaido this turn. Oh my god, second anvil. Are their synthesizers so broken? Ugh. I need my meat hooks. They also played their Shadow Skull, I think? I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, they played their Shadow Skull smashing. Really weird. They must already have. They must already have something, or try to. They must already have Meat Hook Massacre. Oh, they have Voltage Surge. Okay, that's a lot better for them. Oh my gosh. And the Molten Impact trigger. Am I dead? Oh my gosh, I could be dead. Why did they draw, like, so many? They drew 4 Voltage Surges last game and 3 of them this game in the top half of their deck. Not dead, right? Like Xaxes? I can't win at O2, right? I can't top. 100... Wait, no, 100 players. You can top at O2 with 100 players in the tournament, right? You can... I just have to win every other match? Gonna be difficult. I mean, there's no draws, so that makes it easier to top. There's gonna be like 3 X2s at top. Like 2 or 3, probably. That's just such a bad matchup. I can't believe I died that turn.
and then drawing a random 3-drop in the deck, which ended up being Fable, which is pretty good. We got Showdown now. We got Fable going. Pretty interesting take on the mid-range deck for HR back.
Artillery enthusiast here, make sure modified creatures
Hey, look, it's my
have
preview card.
menace. So that modified keyword means if they have some kind of counter on them or have been perpetually modified, I believe, as well, right?
Yeah, and then also interesting is, actually, I don't think perpetual counts as a modification because it's not like templated in the ability. But I can see a lot of cases of this card to be played where that text wouldn't matter. But with Showdown have a Scald, it actually matters a lot because most things will have a counter on them and be modified. So pretty good start for HR here. Pretty cool looking deck, honestly.
I wish I played against these decks.
You see Electrostatic Blast, which is a card I am in love with. It's a wonderful design. 2 mana for a shock. Then the next instant or sorcerer you play, you flip your top 3 and you can cast 1 this turn. So it's a powerful card, but you see here, the timing on it can be awkward. So play a land first, can't play a takedown as a land, and can't play any of these cards. So it's a really cool card. It's very, very powerful, but requires some pretty precise timing too.
Yeah, a little bit of a sequencing decision there on Beck's part for there. Could have waited to play that land, played the Molten Impact, and then played that takedown as a tapped land there, saving the den for later.
Yeah, very similar to Expressive Iteration, where it's a very powerful card, but needs to be played at the right time.
See, Showdown of the Skulls coming down here, going to generate some card advantage and then modify some of these cards down the line on chapters 2 and 3. Wandering Emperor, another card that's very good at modifying your cards.
That's true.
That is a lot of drain.
Cool list here. I'm trying to
so bad.
This deck list.
That is a lot of drain.
Cool list here. I'm trying to
so bad.
This deck take a peek at it. Cool list here.
Jukai Liberator in hand for J. Jukai Liberator is a new direct-to-digital card here. Lets you seek a land or non-land card of your choosing, and Ninjutsu obviously letting you pick this back up when it goes unblocked. So to crack in for 3 here, and I imagine draw a spell based on the texture of the J. Gravy's hand we have already. And Old Growth Drill, we see that counter hanging out from Tenacious Pups. This is going to be a 5/5 with Vigilance and Trample here.
Yeah, Liberator and Tenacious Pup are best friends. Really, really cool little 1-2 punch.
Got some choices here on Beck's side. These cards that are exiled at the moment are only castable until end of turn, so we're probably going to see at a minimum the Emperor fire off here. Yeah. Debating if they want to exile the Jukai Liberator or not here, it looks like. Notable that the Old Growth Troll is currently vigilant, so saving counters on the Wandering Emperor does not have a lot of particular value here, thanks to the bonus from the pup.
Yeah, the pup definitely makes your next one very, very potent, and you can backfire if they have a lot of kill spells. But in this case, right now, this Old Growth Troll is huge.
Yeah, Blizzard Brawl here gonna punish the holding the 3/3 back, potentially wanting to be able to protect their powerful Planeswalker, but gonna be unable to thanks to the removal spell and now the trample.
Still in good shape though, honestly. We got the Showdown counter still available for next turn. Fable the Mirror Breaker coming down, a couple creature lands. Not a great draw, but
It's notable that Fable of the Mirror Breaker lets you discard 2 to replace those cards with a new draw, so I have to imagine we might not see a land played this turn because we potentially turn them into spells the following turn.
yeah, I think I would want to hold here. Gonna play.
That's fine. You get to draw a card for the turn still too, so still a chance that if the top card of your deck is bad, you're going to get to rummage twice still. Yep. The second brawl is a little bit brutal here. Now, our red-white player did have a pretty good start to begin with, so they do have a little bit of life total to utilize as a resource to start at least.
Yeah, the brawl there is pretty aggressive. It killed basically a 1-drop, and then now the shields are down for anything HR Beck can pull off the top here. It's going to be pretty big and powerful. Could maybe get some blocks going, but that Old Growth Troll is quite large and only getting larger with the Ranger class lined up. And even though Jay's got nothing else behind, Chapter 3 of the Ranger class is looming as well. Big draws coming up for HR.
Get some selection here. Yep, and there's another break. HR just in tune at the top of their deck, knowing that another land was coming, so it was fine to play it out last turn. Wandering Emperor is a good one, but again, the vigilance from this Tenacious Pup just being a powerful impact on the board with this Old Growth Drill.
Yeah, and it's cool to see. It's cool seeing, the holes in cards where cards have blind spots. Wandering Emperor is a really, really good card, but Vigilance is good against it. Kind of a weird thing to say Vigilance is good against something, but that's sweet. And then another brawl off the tops. Jay Gravy was not out of removal, apparently.
Great. And there's Chapter 3 on the Ranger class that lets you look at the top card of your deck and deploy creatures directly off of it. So no hit this turn, but eventually you're going to find some of those, generate some card advantage with the Ranger class.
So there is enough mana to activate the Bugbear, so we will see Jay aware of that on attacks, which could work out in HR's favor based on where the counter from Ranger class is going to go.
And that, previously high life total for Beck is dwindling very, very quickly here. This is an attack for 7 with a creature that is trampling.
So going to highly prioritize the Vigilance attacker, not going to attack into the Bugbears. This also plays around the Emperor as well. We know, or Jay knows, that HR did draw a bunch of new cards last turn. So the Emperor was definitely a possibility this turn, playing around it. Emperor gets to make a token, but 7 is a lot. Ooh, we're going to see some blocks. Are we?
And remember, this just soaks 2 damage, I suppose. We don't see a double block there because that Blizzard Brawl makes it indestructible until end of turn. And just the awkwardness of these answers in Beck's hand. Emperor can't exile this because it's Vigilance, Portable Hole, unable to deal with a 3-drop. It does at least take the Ranger class off the board to alleviate some pressure in that manner.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Den of the Bugbears are available as well. Emperor can maybe make a token too here. So there is, a little bit of hope as far as getting things through. Obviously, Kiki Jiki is very, very good. So any big creature up top to copy could be huge.
I think there's a path here for Beck. We're a little bit behind, but the fact that Ranger class is now off the board at least means you're not about to get buried in card advantage. So they just have to worry about dealing with what's currently on the board.
Yeah, and Reflections is a huge, huge card to have access to. It can't do anything really just yet, but one big draw, Skyclave in particular would be phenomenal. The 2 Skyclaves would be awesome here, but even any creature, is pretty reasonable. But
the fact that Lair of the Hydra is threatening lethal on its own throws a real kink in all of these plans. And you have to remember that Old Growth Troll, it has a pile of text on it, Jim. Should that actually be removed via combat, it's going to go enchant a forest, then make another 4/4 down the line.
Yep. Yeah, so it looks like Kiki might have to block here, right? So the 6/6 has to be chump blocked. Something has to go on Old Growth Troll to soak some stuff up. Cave can block the 2/3, but the trample damage
How
from
many
the
Anvil
troll
decks are in
means
this
that
tournament?
Last Wolf is lethal.
Yeah, I think you got a triple block. Yeah, I think these are your blocks that are kind of the play to win line. And I imagine the Cave of the Frost Dragon just gets left there. Oh, we're killing that. Okay. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. There's other creature lands in play, so I'd kind of be inclined to leave it and take out the creatures that are... Holy crap, Jim.
That's not too shabby.
That
So
is...
we also have the plus from the Wandering Emperor as well, and Vigilance available, and the Molten Impact. Forgot about that one. It's only 1 damage, I guess. It's not going to be too good, but... yeah, this is something. And of course, the Ignition can pop off next turn as well.
Yeah, I like making a token here, because even if you life gain for 5, you're only at 7, which means you would have to chump block the Lair of the Hydra, because the Old Growth Troll is giving it an extra mana at this point.
Very fair, very fair.
And that Angel Fire Ignition threatens to flash back, so there's going to be a 12-point swing again next turn. This 4/4 now means the 2/3 and the 2/2 have to stay home.
Yeah, it's probably just big Hydra attack chump with the 2/2. I mean, I suppose there's some pressure on Jay wanting to make the troll token off of the land, but this, of course, it sets up better for next turn.
Yep. And then next turn now, with the extra life coming from the 6/6, you can just take the hit from the Lair of the Hydra.
Yeah, so Ignition's in. It gives Vigilance. Yes, Vigilance, lifelink.
Trample, Indestructible, just all the keyword soup you could ever want to eat, Jim.
And there you go. So swapping life totals now here to 7 to 12. A little more of a buffer. Now, of course, there isn't really any other way for Beck to get through at the moment. The 6/6 cannot beat the layers that are already on the board. Have a 4/4 pack leader, a 4/4 coming off of the thing. But Showdown of Skulls is probably your best draw. A little punish for not playing that land last turn, which usually you want to do in your Showdown deck, just have all your lands in play.
Yeah, and there's exactly the punishment you're talking about. Had that mountain been put into play here, we could have deployed another 4-drop this turn.
Yep. Kind of goes against what you're trained to do as a Magic player. I always want to hold that last land in hand. Usually you don't need it, but because Showdown draws so many cards, you want to have access to as much mana as possible and as many land drops as possible.
Intrepid Adversary, notably having lifelink here, no good attack with the 6/6 means that J. Gravy gets a little bit of reprieve here to go ahead and make their 4/4 Trampler.
Yeah, the good news is that there is 8 mana available next turn. So next turn could just be Showdown and then Emperor, which really puts a lot of stuff in play. But it's mostly going to be on HR to survive this turn because there's a lot of trampling damage coming through. Pack Leader's going to draw a card, which is of course excellent. Ooh boy, that's even more chunk. Interesting.
This block feels maybe we missed the fact that this has had trample there. We saw a quick mouse over on it there. I think perhaps expecting to have been jump blocking there.
Yeah, and once again, just vigilance, just clowning this Wandering Emperor. The poor Wandering Emperor just can't do anything. All right, big showdown. Again, probably should have played the land first, but it's neither here nor there really. Draws all spells anyway. There you go.
Okay.
Note that the March can't exile cards from exile to make it cheaper, unfortunately.
And another thing here, Jim, we're behind a land drop again because of this land that kept in hand. If there was one more land in play, Electrostatic Blast plus March on a 2-drop would be available to us here. Or Electrostatic Blast Rahilda March on a token would be available to us here.
45% of the field is
decision to just
Rakdos?
hold that mountain
Really,
is
Nuno?
really snowballed on Beck here.
Yeah, for sure.
How much sack is there?
Now, the Wandering Emperor is a card that must be played this turn or it goes away.
12 and 9 for mid-range.
The rest of the
9
cards
and
are
15
also
for sack.
available next turn. And I'm a little worried here is that both... Oh my god.
So I have an even better
Alright,
chance of playing
that
against sack
Snakes
next
Game
round
is a
again?
phenomenal draw. So, Lair of a Hydra is available, and now the
there's so much
flip
sack
on
in
the
this
Oddity
tournament.
is available. There's enough mana to flip the Oddity and protect it with the Snakeskin Veil as
Not a good
well
look.
as everything else attacking.
Like, if I was
Pretty
playing
good spot
Mardu,
here.
I
I
could have
think this is
Skyclave Apparition
I'll
for
call it a little
those.
too soon, but
Feels bad.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Ulvenwald Oddity here is about ready to show you its belly screen.
I might have
Jim.
needed to
It's
play
gonna
Rakdos
be
in this
really
tournament.
angry
Or not
and
Rakdos.
mouthy. What's
Mardu.
that card called when it flips over?
I don't know. Ulvenwald, bigger, madder, odder oddity.
Not Primordials. I've got all the Ulvenwalds in front of me. Someone in chat. Behemoth. There's his belly screen. Nailed it.
Yeah, so that is an 8/8 trample.
Belly
It also
scream.
gives other creatures you control +1/+1 trample and haste. So I believe flip, and then the
So,
protection spell
can
isn't
you-
even
can
necessary
you
because
see
there's no way
how
to
many
kill it
sacrifice-
regardless.
okay, so
but
15
can protect
losses
the
for sack in
token
round
from
one.
March.
I lost
I
the
believe
sack
it's
in
gonna
round
do it
2.
here.
Which
Yeah, and
means
if
they
you're
go
on
the same
Beck's side,
rate
the
of
fact
people
that Lair of the
lost,
Hydra
there
didn't
should
fire
be
up for this
around
attack knows. You
5
know that this Behemoth play is
sacrifices
coming.
that
Yeah,
are owed
yeah.
to.
And can blast it like
Out of all
post,
the people that are owed
post
to,
damage.
there's a lot
but,
of sacrifice probably.
that it
So there's
assumes
good
there's a
chance
post
that,
damage
it's
world
sacked again.
to look forward to.
God. In order to win this tournament, I need to win round
This is
1.
just lethal
Because winning round
anyway.
1 will be
I
giving
guess
even
it
less
was
chance
the
to play
March
against
on the
that.
token.
And we lost round 1.
So no reason to Snakeskin Veil here.
That's how it happens in tournaments sometimes. You have a bad matchup.
Yeah,
that's
well,
not really that
it's
good against the
lethal
field. And if
even
you keep
through this
losing,
March, right? Like you're
you're trying to
still
play
just
against them
lethal
more often.
because this is giving everything else 1/1, so that we have
Draw
5,
through
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We needed to, assuming the Snakeskin Veil's not.
That's how it happens in tournaments sometimes, is that when you have a bad matchup that's like a little bit higher represented in the field, I'll put his lower.
Snakeskin Veil, just a 2 of in the main deck for this this green deck. Pretty straightforward list here. Really nice and clean.
That's how it happens in tournaments sometimes when you have a little bit of a bad matchup that is not is either represented like a little bit higher than you thought it would be, but it's not really that good against the field, as we've seen about the sacrifice deck. if you lose round 1, you have a higher chance of playing against that deck because that deck probably lost more than it won in round 1. And so round 1 is like one of the most important rounds to win. Because if you lose round 1, you get paired against those other decks that you might not have good matchups against or not playing around, or some random decks that your cards aren't good against. And when you play a mid-range deck, you really want your cards to be, you know, good against the field. And Blood Chief Thirst and Power Word Kill just aren't good against Sacrifice. Like, they're really good against, you know, people playing, you know, Rahilda or, you know, any other mid-range threat, like this Intrepid Adversary here, or maybe like a Jukai Liberator in the mono green hand. Things like that, but the more, like, you lose round 1, you have a better chance of playing against the decks that also lost round 1, and that's why we played against Sack, because Sack lost a lot in round 1. Now in round 2, after I lose to Sack, I have a better chance of playing against Sack again, because Sack probably lost again in round 2. So it's just, if I had won round 1, I would have a less chance of playing against Sack, and probably don't play against Sack, and I could just win the whole tournament. But since I lost round 1, I get to play against Sacrifice, and then it's just downhill from there.
Block. Heads up block there.
Ranger,
and a block that I don't think anybody makes if Jukai Liberator is not a Magic card.
Yep, correct. I completely agree. And honestly, the way things played out, like, both players are pretty happy with that exchange, right? Like, you traded your 1-drop for their 3-1, and then, like, you had a follow-up Rangers class to be happy with. And there's the green source. You're going to get to go ahead and deploy... Ooh, interesting. Are we playing because the Liberator... Oh, I think I like this, because you can just, like... Oh, it gets trample now.
Yeah,
oh,
like
that's
4/4
huge.
So it has a defensive stance against the Wandering Emperor, which is good. Excuse me. And then, of course, threatens to draw cards. Can be blocked, but now even if it's blocked by the adversary for a trade, it can draw. It can block with both, obviously, but Blizzard Brawl here is going to make this a pretty nasty turn.
Yeah, I have to imagine you see the Ranger class level up here, and then Brawl's going to go ahead and get rid of the adversary, and then we'll get to crack in for 6 and draw a card of our choosing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Do I feel like I have no shot?
Now
yeah, no
adding
shot.
another card draw creature to this mono green deck is really, really good. So now you have...
I'd have to be playing like 4 braids to have a shot.
2-drops that are able to draw more cards, just phenomenal.
Yeah,
after I use my 1 braid, I have no answer to
mechanics in Alchemy. Seek basically means you get a random card
and
out of your deck that meets
I also
the
just
requirements
didn't
that you're
draw
getting.
any
So
Meathook Massacres.
you choose land, you get a random land out of your deck.
And I also
you choose non-land, you
Undercity
get a
Plundered, and I
random
didn't get
non-land.
theirs either.
Yeah, it's honestly a great mechanic. It just draw from a subset of cards, which is not possible to do in paper, so it take forever. But digitally, easy to do.
Maybe a small sequencing mistake for our top player last turn. They chose to grab a land with that Seek, and if they would have waited to do that, they could have had 4 green in play this turn.
Bad matchups are bad, and it's even worse when
and interesting is they're deciding to just fire in the creature land and not deploy a creature. Can't deploy more than 1, but Mammoth acting for 5 next turn and allowing you to play more stuff. Usually creature land's the last thing you do, not the first thing that you do, so...
Yep. I think perhaps acknowledging that, like, they wanted to be able to double spell, but they'd still be able to double spell this turn. Oh, I guess with this sequence, okay, I kind of don't mind this. They're just, like, building up the Faceless Haven, and then they get to play 1 spell this turn.
It's fair. It's fair. It is 9 damage, which is certainly a decent chunk.
Yep, yeah, and in your aggro deck, you're pretty happy with that. Molten Impact's going to get to clean away the Mammoth here, but not going to be... Oh, can play the Emperor as well, so maybe Emperor make a token? Give it a counter.
Yeah, so actually, it's funny. I don't really like playing Mammoth into Impact, because the Impact's going away next turn anyway. So you can just hold it, and it's the same thing as playing it, basically, because it would just die anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Like,
once you didn't commit
sometimes it's just better to say, okay, I have a bad matchup against
so
this
once again,
deck,
Vigilance, poor Wandering
instead
Emperor,
of making your deck
getting
worse against
Vigilance
everything
left
else
here
by
and getting
playing
Vigilance
around
right
that deck.
here, and
When did I face on the ladder? I mean,
Jim.
So
there's a leftover.
Like,
wow.
But
compounding the arrow last turn, because the Molten Influence was able to be cast, The one leftover damage allows both of these blasts to kill the creature land. Now, it still was a pretty good exchange for Jay. That was multiple cards and then a wasted trigger on one of the electrostatic blasts, but would not have been possible otherwise.
I don't think this is a thing anymore, Jim, because it's 2022. But it's like rollover minutes, basically. You didn't use your damage last turn. You get to bring it with you forward into the future.
Yes. Back up.
They were just testing in friendly matches,
and telephone booths.
Sir, rollover minutes didn't exist until cell phones were a thing, okay? Your landlines had unlimited minutes.
Cell phones were this big, though. It was like
your landlines had unlimited minutes unless it was long distance.
Okay, Scully, what's up?
All right. Hey, look, we finally found a creature that taps for an attack, Jim. The Wandering Emperor is here, and she's ready to exile.
She's so happy right now. She's like, yes, somebody
to cut in half.
All right, but we see all this resource drawing that this green deck has done leaves the green deck with plenty of resources behind here, and then of course the dreaded double pack leader turn, which tries to draw 2 cards next turn, but Showdown's a perfect counter drop.
Yep, this is 4 cards coming off the top for
there's apparition off the top they can't cast
player, and there's a land and a 1-drop and an Angel Fire Edition. Oh, interesting.
Here. So could have put a counter on the 1-drop, and interesting. Okay.
Oh, and this is another reason to have led on the 1-drop. The Electrostatic Blast cards kind of just going unused here because those are only until end of turn. So perhaps leading on the 1-drop was better because then Rahilda could have been played as opposed to losing it.
Yeah, and then also the land drop too. I mean, we again saw a land drop come in perhaps a little early. I like all these red cards because the sequencing is so interesting. It's very intricate, like when you want to play your land, not play a land, when you want to play certain spells. It requires a lot of planning, which is super cool.
So Werewolf Pack Leader does more than just drawing cards even. So has a 4-mana activated ability to become a 5/3 with Trample, which I imagine we're going to see happen on at least one of these here, right? Nope, just choosing to play to the board instead. I guess that makes sense. You want to just go wide here.
Yeah, and so the problem is that looking to just kind of go big on this Angel Fire Ignition to creature, but that's a lot of power.
Top decking Showdown.
Board. We're seeing 3 cards drawn a turn. We're seeing a huge swing.
Oh my gosh, Rahilda's vigilance is insane.
This is kind of cool. So Rahilda getting haste here, and can I be able to steal a card too? Lifelink as well, just a little bit important. Given
I think I liked putting a counter on the Night token more than
Blizzard Brawl.
More than putting a counter on the Rahilda there, because if the Night token would have gotten a counter, they would have traded with the other Kazandu Mammoth. That being said, this thing still has lifelink, so that's another gain 6 here. The Blizzard Brawl off the top here is kind of cracked.
Yeah, that was an extremely hit. But another redraw for Jay. Big Bomb 6-drop.
Okay, Everbrook Caretaker gets put 2 1/1 counters onto something here. Oh, interesting to not see the land drop happen, because Andy Mammoth could have attacked into this 6/6 otherwise.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually. I thought that was perfect. And just Showdown again.
Angel Fire Edition here, huh?
That's really good.
Is really close to lethal, right?
I think it just is, right? Just 14.
Well, we're not double striking. We're not double striking.
You're right.
So you Sejiri Shelter.
Yeah, but we could Showdown too. It's just phenomenal.
Rip apart the Werewolf Pack Leader.
And we're still on the last Showdown counters too.
Yeah, you could rip apart the Pack Leader and then Sejiri Shelter Pro Green crack them for 9, and you're at 31, so there's just like no danger of you dying on the backswing, despite their creatures being huge.
Yeah. That is the biggest, meanest Rahilda I have ever seen.
Large lady.
Oh no, not using Sejiri Shelter.
Showdown of the Skulls is a very, very powerful card. I also don't mind this, just like, alright, attack, you want to block, we'll punish you.
It's not really a punish, they know about
it. Yeah, the downside here is that I guess you could maybe hit a 1-drop and cast it up for Hilda if you go for the Shelter play. The double block doesn't really work as a first strike anyway, so it's like, you're just giving them a chance to chump block and giving them the option. Sure. Rahilda's big enough. World is big enough.
Really impressive showing for Angel Fire Ignition. Honestly, a little surprised to only see 2 copies of that card in this red-white 75. I think in these aggressive creature matchups like this is probably one of the best things you can be doing.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of go big here between the Angel Fire, the Showdown, and the Wandering Emperor. But the cool thing is, like,
Showdown,
it's not committing completely like it would be with
That's
like
what
a
won the
Boros
game.
deck or something, because Showdown and Emperor are both just really good anyway. It's kind of sweet. Quite the variety of spells in this Boros deck.
Record right now, big ol' egg.
Yeah, a lot of smattering of these cards are better or worse in particular situations. You know, Valorous Stance versus Electrostatic Blast versus March all have small edges under certain conditions and are worse under others.
It's going to be really difficult.
And it kind of speaks to
get to the top.
How you need to play some of these
But
cards
there's
too.
probably like
Electrostatic Blast is very good, but at times requires a little more delicate
because there's
timing.
no draws.
So if you have
there were draws,
a
I'd just
wider
already
variety of cards, you have more options, and therefore can kind of like plot out a little better rather than just having only Electrostatic Blasts or only something else.
Fastest keep here ever from J Gravy. 2 lands, Pup, Jukai Liberator. Let's go, Jim.
Yeah, this
They're
is really, really
cheating.
good.
It's just bad matchup.
I'm interested to see. Wait, do we see a keep?
No,
oh, it's a Jerry Shelter. It's so hard to parse these spell names still at a glance.
I already knew I had a.
I've
only played against the other deck once.
Yeah. We might have to see a
prowess-
pitch cast on
prowess
March
type
here
deck?
just to get rid of this Liberator, because you really can't let it hit you more than once.
Yeah, I mean,
And I
even
had
just drawing once
I was
is
in a
still
really good spot.
right? Like,
I was in a really good spot in game 1, but my opponent top decked a card that drew them like 6 cards off the top. Like they had no cards, no hand, top decking, and they had a trigger of the exile 3 cards. You can play one of them. They had that card in their graveyard, and then they drew a draw 2 spell off the top of the deck, which drew them 2 cards, and they exiled 3, so they basically was like a draw 5. And they drew like 3 creatures off that or something, and it just went like creature, and then I just died. When we were like both kind of top decking, but I had a board and they were top decking, but I ended up losing to them drawing 5 off the top in game 1. And then in game 2, I had my discard spells, and they had Orvar, which is like if you discard it, you make a copy of a permanent on the board. So they made a copy of my Kiki Saga when I discarded the card out of their hand. And then they had a second one when I played my City Stalker Connoisseur and copied their 4/4. I was like, so I just like lost to Orvar in round 1. A lot of good decisions. It was a good match, but I lost 0-2, and it was basically because of Orvar. Plus, their bloodthirsty adversary was really good. I didn't board in all 3 copies of Go Blank. I only boarded 2 copies of Go Blank. But with that said, since I lost round 1, I got paired against someone that also lost round 1, and the Rakdos Sacrifice deck lost a lot in round 1. So I got paired against that deck, and I have a terrible matchup against the Anvil deck. So then I lost against that because I don't have any way to answer the Anvil outside of 1 Braid in my deck. And I never drew Meaduck Massacre post-board. And the one time I drew my lifelink card, the one time I drew like my big lifelinker, it got killed on the spot with their 1-mana Voltage Surge. So plus they drew 4 Voltage Surges in game 1 and drew 3 Voltage Surges in game 2 in the top 30 cards. So a little bit unlucky combined with being a bad matchup. I feel like I played my cards correctly. I feel like I just like wasn't prepared for. I know I wasn't prepared for the sacrifice matchup, so I was like gonna lose to that matchup regardless. But I was like hoping not to play against it, but I played against it, and that's how it goes.
A lot to get through here.
Yep.
And there's card draw effects with green deck.
Yep. Yet another spell coming, guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, open deck was no fear of a wrath here, so just slam it and jam it. There's your Emperor, but
the damage has been done. The Liberator drew what, 3 cards this game?
Yeah, and now we have Werewolf Pack. We're drawing more cards. Reholder can't block anything profitably. A land drop here makes a 5/5. Pump on the pack leader makes that on the brawl too. Oh yeah, that's it. I believe this is lethal. Brawl. Oh nope, never mind. I thought brawl plus pump was lethal. Either way, whatever. Kill this turn. Kill next turn.
There isn't a particularly wrong way to eat this Reese's Jim.
Yeah, it's all good to go. Kill this, kill that, get in, attack for a bunch, draw a card. A lot of snowbally threats in this green deck. And we are rolling down the hill.
Burr goes down. We get to draw another card, Jim. Put another one in the case for later.
So unlucky that it was a land and then there was no option to draw land or spell, you know?
All right,
yeah.
Pretty decisive victory there in that third game for our mono green player.
Yeah, the mono green deck kind of always had the issue of it didn't really have a great 1-drop, and it was a little reliant on pack leader as a good 2-drop. But now seeing access to, of course, Pup in Alchemy in general, this new Ninja card as well, that's a lot more stuff in the lower parts of the curve, which allows the green deck to have some really good draws. It still was capable of good draws going 2, 3, 4, but now it can go 1, 2, 3. Ooh boy, that was impressive.
All right, chat. Round 3 is underway. We've got our time-shifted matches recording. We've been going straight through 2 rounds, though, and I need to run to the restroom. So we're going to take the very shortest of breaks while I do that, and we'll be back with round 3 action momentarily here with our Hooglandia Open. Stay tuned.
Well, I like this that he's doing here. The Metafy promo. And the cool stuff promo. What do you think of this vampire token? I want one of these tokens. Oh, the academic sponsored this tournament. Sick. Metafy has Lolaman, the 4, Seth, and Hain. I like this promo, though. That looks so good. He really knows how to market. It probably took a lot of money to make this. I don't think I like the full detachment of the top though. Like, where am I gonna put the top of that when I take it off? I kind of want it to like stick on there.
All right, chat. I promised you the break would be quick, and I always keep my promises here. So let's dive right on into the round 3 action here in our Hooglandia Open. We've got a red-black splash blue, or Grixis, as the kids call it, I believe, versus red-black Oni Cult Anvil. So a little bit different take on the
so
red-black
this is the
Midrange
matchup-
archetype that
this
is
is
a
my matchup.
sacrifice sub-theme
Grixis
going
versus
on
Oni Cult.
around the artifact cards like Anvil.
But they drew their
Yeah, basically, I think
Lucky.
the one thing that the pro team I tested with for the set championship missed was we thought Oni Cult Anvil was going to be a lot more played than it was. It's a pretty powerful card, pretty powerful engine. There are a lot of cool tools to go with it, so it'll be pretty cool to see how it works here.
3 mid-range and 2 second O2.
The
Okay.
Undercity
Perfect.
Plunder,
I'd
very
rather
powerful
play against
sorcery
Zero than play
here.
against
Makes your opponent discard one card if they have one to discard, and then gives them the option to discard that second. Otherwise, you get to draw a card out of their deck.
It's going to be interesting seeing how players work out what they want to do with this card. I've seen a lot of players give cards so far, and it's backfired a lot. A lot of good cards have been given to opponents. Rakdos decks playing Disdainful Strokes and Kaidos, Bloodthirsty Adversaries coming out of nowhere. So interesting to see if just Mind Rot for 2 is going to be the preferred mode or not.
Okay, we see here choosing to bin 2 cards on our red-black player's side.
So gonna get punished here. Playing the Anvil on 2, where normally it would be pretty safe, but the Abrade in hand, with the ability to shatter it, and then for basically no value, you're gonna make that Deadly Dispute look pretty bad too. And resources whittling away here, and of course the Connoisseur is ready to come down next turn and take the to win the die roll Connoisseur battle, which is kind of frustrating,
That's actually
honestly.
an
That
insane
the
draw.
player on the play
Oh my God, that's
Connoisseur
broken
first.
draw.
Yeah, the fact that your Connoisseur takes their Connoisseur and you just are up on the 2-for-1 race, especially with Ski here having that painful bond as a follow-up here as well, seems very strong.
Yeah, it was a great draw for our Anvil player, though. Epicure was about the best possible draw of his turn, turning on the Dispute and getting things rolling in that respect.
Someone
And
said in
here
chat,
we
this is
go.
why I play
Connoisseur's
bad
gonna
decks
take
that makes
Connoisseur,
opponents' blunders worse.
And a lot riding on this Deadly Dispute to see if we can put this hand back together here.
Yeah, if a second Connoisseur comes off the top for our Anvil player, that's going to allow them to take the only remaining spell out of Ski's hand. Yikes. Okay,
Yeah.
a spell on the third one at least.
Yeah, good news, of course, is that one of these lands is also a pseudo spell with a channel land, but not particularly great. Again, like we were saying, Ski ready to reload over here. Got 2 creature lands, a blood, and a card draw spell, and the best creature on the board right now.
Painful Bond. I think Undercity Plunder as well as Painful Bond are probably the 2 biggest / most popular cards we've seen from this latest Alchemy card drop today. Just really potent effects that generate 2-for-1s at a mana cost that you normally don't get a 2-for-1 for.
Yeah, and just slotting perfectly into these Rakdos, Grixis, Mardu decks.
And just really the power of Painful Bond here. We drew 2 for 2 mana, and that's all it was. None of these cards in our hand cost 3 or more mana value, and you're just able to just keep on going.
Yeah, it feels pretty dirty to be able to draw Medoc Massacre also, which rarely costs 2. And it's going to be phenomenal here.
Important to note for those of you at home, the mana value of X spells counts X as 0 everywhere except when they are on the stack with mana put into that X.
Yep, so you can play Medoc
Can I
Massacre
play
in your lower
against
stack, and of course
the
Hero
Anvil
takes no
deck
damage on
drawing
Painful Bond.
multiple Voldaren Epicures, and that's
So
it?
I'd be shocked to see a block here because Medoc Massacre is all lined up and ready to go. I like thinking about it though, for Ski. Have a little pause. I think an immediate no block is sort of saying, hey, I think I got this covered next turn, which kind of reveals the Massacre. So take a second, pause, think about it, and this is a great sequence here. We get to see end step, draw 2 into Medoc Massacre, and clean this board up, keep your 3/3. Good spot for Ski.
Yeah, not only that, but the Meetup Massacre provides that kind of consistent
Honestly,
source
Takenuma
of
might
life
be the
gain as
card
well.
to
I
be
think
used
the
this turn
way
for
a deck like
Noble,
Skis loses this
for
matchup
Nagel.
is getting nickel and dimed out by various drain effects. So having a high life total start really puts you in a very commanding position. here.
Meetup for 2 is just blowout here.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a major concern, for us for the set championship, in that we were scared of being burned out by this deck, and we ended up playing multiple life gain effects in our sideboard because we were scared of that. Because you're absolutely right. You get into a spot where both players are exchanging resources, but every time the mid-range player takes 1 and the Anvil player gains 1, and once the Anvils start going, you find yourself with a lot of resources and just dying to random pings.
I like the prioritization here from Ski. Like, obviously, Meathook Massacre this turn's kind of appealing, but getting the City Stalker Connoisseur down while your opponent still has cards in hand so you can get value out of that discard goes a long way.
Yep, for sure. Get to attack here. Also, it's still going to be good next turn. And also, it's very well concealed right now.
Low. Pause here, trying to decide if they want to deploy a land. I think getting to at least 6 in the Grixis deck probably makes a lot of sense, right? Especially with another land in hand already to trim to the blood token.
Yeah, you get creature lands. You want to bumble with cast spells also. I think being able to activate creature land and play Grasp is a pretty good thing to have access to as well.
Okay, here's a likely City Stalker Connoisseur coming up for our red-black player as the mine uses the treasure token to pick something back up. Notable again, the fact that Meathook is only considered 2 mana value here is relevant because City Stalker Connoisseur says, okay, you can discard Meathook or Infernal Grasp here, dealer's choice.
It's important to note also the second blood will allow the Harvester to kill one of these Connoisseurs.
Yeah, that's true. Getting a
Could
little
be a
bit
good way to insulate against Massacre if our Anvil player is scared of that.
No fear in their dojo, Jim.
All right, it's coming in.
I imagine we declined to take this trade last turn. We declined to take it this turn, choosing to prioritize your life to a little bit. I think this is fine. Wanting to make sure they stay healthy.
I think drawing the extra Connoisseur here changes things. Because now you want to cast Connoisseur and get that last card once again.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you don't mind just trading here, being in the same spot next turn, you know, and just kind of keep the grind going here. Plenty of resources. Under no extreme
if the
pressure
Anvil's
to cast
still on the board.
Yeah, up on resources on basic information, right? You have more lands in play, you have the better creature presence, you have more cards in hand.
If the Braid wasn't drawn,
you're even on blood tokens now at this point, so
like,
every measurable metric.
They're like Ski's out of the game.
Yep.
Oh, here's an Anvil.
Okay.
So
you will see this Ski out the other
draw for
I mean, the Meathook Master is going to change.
The problem
things
is
here.
that, you know,
I don't
sack a
main
blood
deck
here,
Meathook,
make a
but
1/1.
this person is.
That makes the Massacre even more potent. And then with the Massacre in play, the Anvil can't really drain super effectively. It's not a terrible draw, but
I think your path back into this game as the Anvil player starts with that draw. It's not going to be enough on its own, but it's like probably the first piece in a winning puzzle.
Probably like drawing Anvil and then drawing like Synthesizer off the top,
or Massacre for 1 live here. It's much more mana efficient.
Like Synthesizer off the top, or
remember, Onicult Anvil only makes that 1/1 once per turn, and only on your turn. So
maybe like
proactively to kind of convert that blood token into a drain plus a 1/1. Extra creature land going away for Ski here, and then just continuing to filter on through. These blood tokens are so good at smoothing your draws out in the mid game.
Yeah, just great. Now, here is the awkward part about Plunder. So when you draw the Plunder and your opponent has no cards in their hand. So
at least it's not just discard spell.
It's like twice. Yeah, you know. I love Siphon Insight, Jim, so I'm happy to cast half of it.
It is a very fun card. I will give you that. So, gonna make the blood, gonna hold back on his Massacre again for a turn.
This will, I mean, I assume our Anvil player is likely going to convert this blood into a 1/1, and then you just kind of clean them out fully with that.
Yeah, that's reasonable. We could see a Bugbear attack here too, honestly. We're gonna blood the land instead. Get a token this way.
This might be a meat hook for none, just so you like can drain them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a path, you know. Unfortunately, Ski's Massacre is going to negate it, but at 12 life, there might be enough here to start kind of pushing that through. Bugbear is also worth 2 creatures as well. Anvil can keep sacrificing the 1/1s. And realistically, I don't see I mean, maybe if you feel like you need to reset the board next turn, you can maybe wait on the Massacre, but interesting choice here.
Yeah, and the Massacre staying in your hand is kind of insulation against them having their own, right? So, like, if Ski massacres for 1, then our Anvil player just needs to draw a 5th land to clean the board out to almost be at parity creature land to creature land.
Yeah, the problem is that the 2 creature lands are available too, and not really enough mana on the top side to use the lands as effectively. And then after Massacre, a big swing comes with the Bugbear. But still a lot of life, too. definitely an interesting spot here. Both players have Massacre. Both Massacres are fine. It's pretty good for Ski, but can take another look here. The Thirst and the Impact are only okay at present. That's another Plunder.
And we can gas that this turn, right? We get to Plunder and Meat Hook here, so this is the huge punish to not just playing your Meat Hook out as a naked card here.
Yep. It's a goodbye Massacre. Hello Anvil.
Look at me, Jim. We're the Anvil deck now.
And yeah, this is gonna be pretty good here. We can see a sack of one of the tokens to the Anvil, but gonna be an attack in for 4 to a totally empty board. No artifacts left for our Anvil player. And again, having a Meat Hook Massacre in play insulates against a lot of what the Anvil deck is able to do. So we're gonna hold back against the bug.
There it is. That's the card they needed to draw.
Yeah, I don't know that I love not attacking there just because they have the Hive of the Eye Tyrants as well. So like you're theoretically stopping them from making a 1/1, but you're also just like not guaranteed to have that be a thing that's gonna happen. All right.
Yeah, and pretty good draw here.
Yeah.
So Brushstroke gives a Blood Artist and an artifact for the Anvil. Now that ball's rolling a bit, but still just absolutely flush with resources in the bottom.
Sanguine Brushstroke here. One of the more powerful cards in the previous Alchemy drop as well, really pushing these black decks with these digital card releases. Makes you a Blood Artist, gets you a Blood token.
Oh, this is double elimination?
Tokens get sacrificed to anything, they drain your opponent for 1.
Oh, really? I'm actually out?
Yeah, and again, having Massacre in play for Ski is massively important here. Because otherwise, every exchange, a little life is lost, a little life is lost, a little life is lost. And all of a sudden, you're at 3 life, and you're like, oh my god, I have all the resources, I'm just going to lose the game to life. So having Massacre in play is absolutely huge.
Yeah, trying to just basically avoid getting nickel and dimed out of the game here. And then the Mirror Breaker plus the Unicult Anvil of their own here means that we're really ready to turn the corner here on Ski side.
Yeah, pretty cool that the Goblin can make a treasure, which can turn into an Anvil food, which can turn into a token, and then get the Anvil ball rolling. Once you have one artifact creature in play with the Anvil, you can sacrifice it every turn, kind of cat oven style, and what's even better with the Meat Hook Massacre in play as well.
Here is a deadly dispute, but
I feel like I really
is
could have
slipping
won
away very quickly here. Voltage Surge will allow water to continue to be treaded, but still slowly getting pulled under.
Oh, this is round 3?
Side.
Oh, no wonder I didn't get a notification.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good draws up top, but just like too far behind, it feels like.
Crap, man.
We'll probably see the Surge come on the Harvester or the Connoisseur, but Twin Shot Sniper. Interesting.
This is a card that I haven't seen in Constructed a ton, so one of those channel mechanics.
Oh, I see it.
That can be
a
little bit of value in the mid games that enters the battlefield as a 4-drop and shoots something, or it can just be a shock that is mostly uncounterable.
Yeah, it's just a little play in the Legacy Goblins, actually, as an uncounterable shock.
Hey, Vincent, how's it going?
You can tutor for, but haven't seen it in Alchemy yet.
Jim would know what's being played in Legacy Goblins chat. For those of you not familiar, he is.
Let me go ahead and make my outro here. That sucks. I'll make my intro also. I guess I needed to play Meat Hook main deck or more Braids or something. God. Crazy. It's crazy how I can be like 100 and something mythic with this exact build. And then just like not get to play my deck two matches in a row. By not getting to play my deck, I meant like I didn't get to do any cool Fable the Mirror Breaker things, and I didn't get to do like I didn't get to do like copy Blood Tithe Harvester kill stuff or like do the City Stalker Connoisseur stuff. like I just died to black-red spells, and then I died to Anvil. But I have to act like I don't know what's going to happen right now, so that's why I'm going to do this for YouTube. So people from YouTube can see me get freaking O2'd. What's up, Jamers? We're getting ready to play in the Hooglandia Open. I'm number 100 and something mythic with this deck right now, so we're going to see how we do in this tournament. This is 99 players. I believe it's going to be 6 or 7 rounds, and it's double elimination. So as soon as you lose 2, you're out. So I really think this is a good matchup against the board, against the field, I should say. The only real problem I think I'm going to have is with the red-black Anvil deck, because I only have 1 Abrade here in the deck to kill the Anvil, and I have like 2 meat hooks here, which can mitigate the life gain, or the life loss. But I could get burned out if I ever play against that. But I do have some life gain here in Sorin. I have Graveyard Trespasser, 4 copies of them for life gain. I have Nighthawk Scavenger for life gain, and 1 more Sorin. So hopefully our life gain gets us there if we have to leave the Anvils on the board. But other than that, I think we have a good matchup against like everything. So we're going to see how it goes, and it all starts right now. All right. I gotta give him a little bit of a precursor on us losing to Anvil, right? Okay. All right, Chambers. Well, sadly, this event was O2, and that's a big yikes. Well, we lost to Anvil. I said it in the beginning, we didn't have a way to answer Anvils, and we didn't answer the Anvils. We had an Abrade one time, and that was it. Our opponent had that masterful top deck off the top in round 1 in game 1, and then we kind of just got Orvar'd out of the game in game 2. But hopefully you liked our games and you learned something, but I'm going to be playing this deck on the ladder anyway. We're number 130-something mythic or whatever it is now, and I honestly still think this deck is amazing. So try this deck out if you want, but maybe don't discard your opponent's Orvar's out of their hand and then make copies of your cards. But anyways, go ahead and check this next video out here. Thanks for enjoying the content. Give the video an extra like because I went O2, just so it makes me feel better or something. I don't know. Click the subscribe button. It makes me feel better for going O2 in this tournament. But anyways, I'll see you in the next one. And as always, peace. Yikes. Well, it's 3 o'clock, but our tournament is over, so we're gonna go ahead and raid Jeff Hoogland now. We're out. Unfreaking fortunate. That is crazy. I don't remember the last time I went O2 in the tournament. It was a long freaking time ago. I must tell you. But anyway, hopefully you liked the stream. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support and for being here during my time of need. Anyways, let's go ahead and go over there. You need to erase and edit Twitch chat for the intro. Gives away the result. Does it, though? Does it actually? Oh, it does, kind of, right? That sucks. Oh well. I'll cover it up or something. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Go give Jeff Hoogland some love. I'll see you over there. And as always, Goose Gang. Out. Let's go!